of the synth show.
Well, hello everybody, welcome to Synth Geekery Show, episode 303. Jeez, I wonder what that could be about, boys. Hey? And girls. What could that be about this week? Jeez. Oh, dearie me. This is going to be an interesting show. We just happened to arrive at that episode number, and it just happens to be one of the most iconic sequence of numbers for synthesizers, so we thought we might as well do a show about the 303. So don't worry, all scattered throughout the show there'll be mentions, love, comments about it, but right at the smack bang of the Saturday Sonority segment, that's where we're going to get stuck into it really deeply. And I've got some guys here that have brought their clones and their actual ones and whatever we've got. I'm not sure what's going to go. Actually, it's going to be a bit of a smorgasbord of surprise. But anyway, let's say quick hello to everybody that's joined us. And let me just quickly bring Brian in to the bottom right-hand corner because he's sitting in Zoom and I just haven't quite got my ass into gear yet. Sorry, Brian. Zoom guest. There's Brian. Hey. Hey, hopefully the audio is working for you, buddy.
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
I can. That's a good start.
Great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not too early for you over in your neck of the woods, mate.
8 a.m. It's not too bad.
Oh, okay. Beautiful. All right. I'm just going to fix up the corner. All right, we're going to quickly just jot across to everybody that's here. We'll start with... Oh, hang on. Wait. I'm pressing the wrong button here. And also, I need to fix this. Cool. Hopefully, let's just fix this up. Let's go back to here. All right. Now, hopefully, give it a second for the Google worksheet, whatever you want to call it, to kick. If I press this button, hopefully it's got the right title. Hey! Hey, Henrik, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine. I wonder, should I put some light on? It would be a little hotter here, and you can hear the vents in the background.
Oh, you can do whatever you like. We're going to do you know how we normally do a How's Your Week Been? We're going to do that a bit later. Yeah, you look a little bit sort of blood orange.
Yeah. I think it's a fireplace, so every bulb has its own cycle.
Anyway, say good day to everybody.
Yeah, hello everybody.
Beautiful.
Nice to be here, and the weather outside is terrible, so I have some sound effects here.
Okay, enjoying it.
Excellent.
All right, heading over to Andy. How are you, Andy?
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hey, good. And then we'll head over to Ian. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, thank you very much. Hello, welcome to rainy Somerset.
Oh, lovely.
It's a bit cooler, actually.
Good stuff.
It's all right here.
Good stuff. And Chris, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, mate.
Awesome.
Happy to be here.
And let's not forget, we've got Brian over in... I don't have a little name badge for you because you're on Zoom, Brian, but we'll just go... We'll go, hey, Brian from Robots.
Hey.
Red, yay.
Yep.
You guys might remember...
Thanks for having me again.
Yep. Beautiful. You guys might remember Brian. He was on the show, it was probably about a month or so ago now, wasn't it? It's a while ago.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. Goes quick, doesn't it? Time goes quick. Hang on, I think we've got some weirdos in the Zoom, haven't we? Let me see if I can get rid of...
More weirdos than not.
This always happens.
Let me see if I can get rid of...
Or show and tell on the Zoom.
Just ignore him, mate.
Yeah.
Just one
This always
second.
happens on Zoom.
It's just a problem with Zoom. Sorry, I just got to get into Zoom now and kick him out.
Some people just want attention.
Oh, dearie me. I'm going to have to take over the Zoom call too. 1 second. It's taken forever to get me in. Join. All right, now I'm in. We won't worry about my computer. Continue. I'll reclaim host. And we are going to get rid of this idiot here. We are going to remove. Bang. All right, you're safe now for now. Fantastic. All right, we've averted that because we don't. I mean, they don't come into the stream, but they sit in. So any Zoom caller will see anything that those guys will do.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. All right, let's get on with the show. So we have got a massive show ahead. Just so you guys know what's up and coming, we're gonna get stuck into our regular segments. We've got synth quiz. We've got funny side coming on after that. We've got a whole bit of stuff happening in news, which is why Brian's here. And we've also got a Name That Synth this week, guys. Special week, Name That Synth. Haven't had one of them for ages. I'm not going to tell you anything about that because you're going to have to just wait and see when that happens. We've got a huge price watch segment. And then after all of that, if that's not enough for you, we've got the Saturday Sonority where we talk about the 303s. So, hey, if that's not enough synth for you, I don't know. I just give up. We'll just quit. Should we, guys? No, we won't. We're going to get stuck into it. Why don't we start off the show with a synth quiz? I think is a good place to start. And let's hit the stinger. Yes, indeed. And this week is going to be a doozy, but I reckon you guys will guess it. The trick is this week, you guys are going to have to beat Wagoo to it because he seems to be winning every week. Although Ian's cracked him. So, Ian, last week, you did well, mate. You cracked him.
Yeah.
He might not be happy about that. I think he's rubbing his hands together right now. He's got like a whole bunch of synth books next to his desk. And he's got his glasses on, and he's looking through them all right now. I haven't even put the first clue up yet. Right, here we go. How's that for a first clue? Multi-trig. Geez, that's going to get you guys thinking about a whole bunch of stuff, that one. Multi-trig. That's your first clue, guys. Don't ask me to repeat it because it is Gonskis. We are going to get stuck into the rest of the show, and we'll start off with Funny Side. Indeed, picture of me there. Only 6 months of buying Eurorack modules. This guy's called Robert. He's lost 15 grand before and after. It's doing well. Yeah. Let's put. We'll put you up there, Brian. Just because I know you want to be there.
So I could point down. Oh no, this way. Here we go.
Yeah. We all kind of feel for Robert. You know. Robert, we feel for you, mate. Right, what else have we got? We have got... Let me just disappear you for a sec so you can read it properly. Sorry, this is a bit annoying. You can only keep one. Friends, wife, job, or synths. Pick one.
Yes.
No contest, surely.
Easy decision.
Yes, easy decision. Dearie me.
See you, fams.
Right, next one. This one came in from Robbie. Nobody likes a reverse centaur.
That's good.
I thought that was a beauty, that one. That's a doozy. All right, what else have we got? We have got this one. Me, anytime after I have 10 minutes to spare. Jeez.
I reckon it takes longer than that to get into the cosy.
Yeah, dearie me.
I need to get me one of those helmets. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
They're cameras, right? They're all just cameras.
I
Each
thought they were
camera.
knobs.
Oh, they're knobs? Oh, okay. You know, well.
Yeah.
His name's Rob, the knobhead. Right. Hey, Batman, have you seen the latest synth from Moo? It's pronounced in music. Slap.
Tut tut.
That one was sent in from Keith in Watford. Good on you, Keithy.
On the Discord.
Yeah, I have to mention that the first one we showed with the gut, that was kind of shared with JX3D and me. We kind of picked the same one at the same time. This is the last one. I walk around like I'm okay, but deep down, I want more sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of deep, isn't it, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one kind of just gets the... Oh, you got more sound effects. All right. We are going to release the chat bot. It's going to jump into the YouTube chat and it's going to let you guys pick your favorite meme of the week. So all you have to do to vote in the YouTube chat, this is, guys, is !vote space and the number that corresponds to your favorite. 0 being Eurorack, 1 being keep only one, which was like job or synths or whatever. 2 was reverse centaur, which was a doozy. 3, spare time. 4, in music. And 5 is the one on your screen. More synths. Chuck your votes in, boys and girls. And we'll, geez, they're flooding in today. We'll keep,
Cool.
we'll go over to here. There we go.
While people are voting, I want to show this fun thing I got here that I haven't put on my car yet. Oh, there we go. My other car is a modular synth.
Oh, I like that.
And it costs more.
Oh. You need to put that on the store.
Is that on your store, buddy?
That's my buddy's store, Hive Mind Synthesis.
Oh, beautiful.
Cool.
Careful about that. Someone might think you have a module in the back and try to break into your car. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
happens to divers all the time with the diver symbol.
Well, we've got a lot of votes
yeah.
coming in. I reckon we will close the voting around about... We'll just get one last vote in. Babs wants to vote for your license plate, Brian. So, you know. But that wasn't we didn't quite get that one. That can go next week. All right. We'll give it 2 more seconds. 1, 2, no more votes. Stopping the poll. Bang. Let's see what happens. Oh, James, you missed a vote. The winner is Reverse Centaur. Yay! Let me just quickly grab that one wherever it was. I think it's there, and we will just put that on the screen. That's the one that won, everybody. Well done. Good on you, Puricelli. You've done it again, mate. They all like your memes. I don't know if you actually made that meme or not, but we'll just pretend you did. We'll pretend. Okay. Let's get stuck into the news because there's a lot. There's a lot of cool stuff. Chris, rub your hands together, mate. Here we go. Right.
Okay.
Chris, over to you. We're going to do the
over
You're going to
to
do the
me.
Pittsburgh stuff, yeah.
Pittsburgh Modular have been a little busy. They've released a spate of new modules, starting with this, which is technically a second Suck of the Sav. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, we got double. Hang on. There we go. Second suck of the Sav.
Second Suck of the Sav.
Cool.
Okay, so this is the local Florist 2. So it's a rejuvenated version of the original module from about 4 years ago. It's BBD based kind of sound mangler. So it's essentially, it's based on the BBD, so you kind of know what kind of weirdness the circuit is going to result in, sounding a little dark sometimes. And sometimes has that little grainy clocking sound that you can sometimes get in BBDs. Although this one has been tuned not to get too clock noisy, because he found it wasn't very appealing to listen to, which I agree with. But anyway, basically what this does is, as well as doing sort of carpal strong type buzzing kind of delays, it also does full on kind of chorusing and flanging-ish. They say ish, I'm not quite sure why, it sounded like flanging to me. So it's got an LFO inbuilt, and it's got a interesting revamped version of the feedback circuit. So the original feedback circuit, at the very end of the knob, used to go into madness feedback as you do with BBDs very quickly. Now they've tuned it so that you get much more sweet spot. So that's a nice refinement, because I think everyone who's played with a BBD would know that when you do get into that high feedback area, it gets out of control very quickly, as Rance will definitely probably attest to. The other thing they've added, I believe, if I've got this right, is they've added a tilt EQ. So now there's it's kind of like a low pass, high pass tilt. So it's that circuit that when you turn to the left, it kind of cuts the top. When you turn to the right, it cuts the bottom. I probably got that wrong way around. Yes, tilt EQ. So I think we kind of know what that is. So yeah, I don't know if we have a video for this one lined up at all, Rance.
We got the big live stream, I guess. But we can do the live stream video at the end after we show the 3 modules.
Yeah, why don't we just go through all of them? So anyway, this is how many HP it is? This one is, I think it's 8 HP.
8 HP.
Looks like
yes,
8.
It's 8 HP. Yeah, it's about
24 millimeters deep.
So it's skiff friendly. Pretty much, I think anything less than 25 is skiff friendly now. It uses 45 milliamps. What do you do? On plus 12 and 37 on minus 12. Sounds symmetrical.
Yep.
Which is always good. So yeah, its price is $199 US. So pretty typical for a Pittsburgh Modular. I mean, you do pay a bit for the design effort and the build quality on these modules. Kind of rarity is sometimes an issue with these, although I think the supply on these is going to be pretty good. So if you're looking to get one, or now's probably the time to get one because they've improved it. If you're interested in something new that's BBD related, that's probably definitely something to have a look at. I didn't mention it's got CV control over the time as well, and the vibe control, which I can't remember what that control does, sorry. So perhaps we should go into the next one, Rance. The next thing from Pittsburgh Modular is the double Helix. This one's a bit more, this is kind of the flagship of what they've done recently. This is a new but old wavetable oscillator based on a design from 2015, I think it was, Rance.
2015, prototype.
Yeah, 2015. This sounds like it was one of the first things they kind of, because it is pretty much based on, I've forgotten his name.
Richard.
Richard, thank you.
Richard Nichols.
Sorry, Richard. I'm terrible with names. Richard kind of started the whole journey, Pittsburgh Modular journey, I think, with a module pretty much based on this. This module is a diluted, not diluted, what's the word? Refined, devolved, I'm trying to think of the words. A dilution, maybe, of the original module in terms of spacing, but it is essentially the same innards as the original. It was something they were playing with originally, which didn't see the light of day. It was I think there's a big backstory behind it, which you can check out the videos on to find out if you're interested in that kind of evolution of how a modular synth company kind of goes through sometimes design processes and comes out abandoning projects. Apparently what happened is that there was something was mentioned about this, and then someone asked for one to be sent, and they had a prototype, and he sent it, and then they said, "You've got to release this module." So they went, "Oh, okay, we'll look at doing that." So and this is what they've done. So this is a Wavetable VCO, but it's a 9-bit DAC based. It's a resistor ladder DAC, which is it's a particular technology which just uses literally resistors for each bit that are binary weighted. It's a very old technique, but it gives it a gritty kind of 9-bit sound, which is kind of cool. We will listen to this at some stage because it kind of is one of those things where you have to hear it to kind of get a vibe of what it sounds like. But it's very much like a low res wavetable oscillator with it's a very steppy wavetable, so it's not the sort of evolved PPG wave and wave term and all the more modern ones. What's the modern one called? The new one, the wave. It's very steppy. It's based on
lo-fi.
It's lo-fi, yeah. So it's based on it's still the same CPU. I think that was in the original, so 2015 technology, I guess you could say. But it's got a lot of controls, a lot of CV, and it's kind of wild sounding. It's a bit unruly, I would say. It is quite big though, and as well as having the wavetable oscillator, it also has quite a few processing things in it. I'm not clear on whether these are analog processors or digital or a mixture of both, because there are things like bandpass and notch filters and stuff like that. I couldn't tell just by listening to it whether they were digital processing or analog processing, but I tend to leaning towards them being analog processing, which is pretty wild to have that many different, effects based upon a switch. It kind of gives you an idea as to why this probably wasn't. It wasn't really. The world wasn't really ready for it in 2015. Whereas now I think we're much more into sound design. That we kind of like the idea of being, having a choice of 16 different processors to put a single VCO through and go with that kind of thing. So it has, how many banks does it have? It has 16 sweepable wavetables in 2 filter banks. As I said, it has the integrated effects, including, it does have FM, it does have wave folding, does do sync, so we always like sync. Bit of delay, which must be digital, I would think. It's 16 HP, so as I said, it's a bit big, but it's not outrageously big. And it is very much based on the original. Now, the reason why that's particularly important is because I think there are videos out there of the original, and if it wasn't the same circuitry, people might be reticent about giving their hard-earned cash towards it. I can understand that, but it does also mean that it has a few minor flaws in terms of it doesn't necessarily track volts per octave above F#5, which is a minor
quite
issue
high
in my book.
Yeah,
it's very high. Yeah, so it's kind of like, well, they're just being honest about what they have. But this one is $299 as opposed to the previous one, which was $199. But it is going to be one of those ones that sounds like it's going to be limited quantity. So I don't know what that means, but through their store, through the Pittsburgh Modular store. Yeah, so is that as in they're only going to sell it through the Pittsburgh Modular store?
Yeah, that one I believe.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so they're not going to be supplying, the normal supply chain would be, 100 units to these guys, 100 units. They can't do that with this. They're doing a limited run of it. So
I don't know if it's because of the processor, Chris, or if it's because they've got that limited 9-bit resistor DAC in there as well, which gives it that lo-fi sound.
So it could be components which they would have to substitute, and then they would not want to just do that.
Yeah.
Without doing research and R&D on whether it changes the sound and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. So I can understand why they've done it this way. It seems fair enough. Yeah, so I think we will check out the video later after we've looked at one more module from Pittsburgh Modular, which is on our radar. This is the Crow. The Crow is a filter. Ho hum, another filter? Who wants another filter? Well, this one's a bit of a sort of unique. It's been really optimized, I think, for resonance, as in kind of controllable resonance. It's quite a unique sound. It's not necessarily my super cup of tea, but it's certainly a kind of, from an engineering point of view, it's kind of cool. It's the other aspect, or the other string of its bow, is that drive circuit, which is now switchable. This is also a Mark II. It doesn't say on the thing, but I think the original module had Flight of the Crow or something. There's a few different versions of the
Mark
of
III
the same idea. I think it might be a Mark III. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I can't remember which one. He took off the number for some reason.
He did, yeah.
If it had been Crow 3, I think, because it has had different names through the past. But this is basically his, his main bread and butter filter design that he's just trying to dilute down to its purest form. It's a multi-mode filter, which is cool. And the modes are selectable in a kind of an interesting way. The two switches at the bottom there, on the bottom right-hand side, the top switch is your bandpass filter mode, and the bottom is your high-pass and low-pass switchable. And when you switch them both together, you get a parallel mixture of the two. So it's actually mixing the two filter modes. So it's a multi-mode filter with mixing in it as well, I guess, in that particular configuration, which is kind of cool. It's CV's got a 10U verter in it, which is always handy. And the resonance, I think, has been tweaked on this one as well, so that it's a bit more, you've got a bit more range, a bit more sweet spot in, because sometimes some resonances sometimes just go nuts very quickly or don't do anything and then go crazy. So I think this one's kind of...
Can you turn the bandpass into a notch?
So basically, it's a PGH filter, and it has this thing. You mentioned, Chris, it's a 12 dB non-state variable.
Yeah,
it has
so
no
I
dead
had
spot.
mentioned.
So that's what they talk about. So your classic PGH filter with manually selectable, stackable filter responses, low pass, band pass, high pass, can all be enabled, disabled individually for instant parallel processing. So that answers your question, Andy. But the resonant thing is, I think, interesting, Chris, because what it does is it gives you the capability for the resonance not to drop out. So you can I don't really understand how they do that.
It's interesting. It's almost like it's when resonance goes into sort of self-oscillation, it's still not completely self-oscillating. It's still really reactive to the signal.
Yep.
And it kind of creates sidebands, and they're really, like, it's hard to describe, but basically I think it's what he calls it, the crow sound, because it sounds kind of like it's the frequency's kind of jumping around a little bit, sort of a bit warbly, a bit bird-like. And when you hear it, you'll kind of know I think you'll know what he means by the crow sound. But and the drive circuit's pretty cool. It's got sort of two modes where, with drive turned off, the gain is still gives you a little bit of saturation, but obviously with the drive engaged, it can get really, really saturated, and that's when. And it also does something funky. He does something cool with the gain control and the resonance control. Or was I thinking about the other module?
No, it's got a ultra high gain preamp in it. So it does have a custom limiting circuit in there, which
that's
gives you the overdrive stuff.
Yes,
but it doesn't give you harshness. I think he's kind of wanting to tone that back a little bit, so it's not like completely going bonkers. But at the same time, you can get that sort of cleaner sort of sounds if you want to bypass that as well. There's complete bypass on it. Yeah,
so it's
may I ask something?
Down.
Go for it, Henrik.
Go, Henrik.
Yeah. I would like to say I've always wondered, but I haven't. I just came up with it. Why haven't anyone made a resonance on a filter where there's a center point, so you have a zero and a positive and a negative, so you can both do a notch and the opposite?
I think that there are, but in different integrations. I think the problem with that, Henrik, is just the sheer way the resonance works, because basically you're sort of creating essentially a sine wave at some point, right? And so when you get to that point, it changes the way it integrates when you've got sort of low pass or different other types of filters. So you kind of can't really do that at the same time with the different types of filters. So resonance will manipulate differently with the different types. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I did think about how filters work electronically.
Yeah.
So analog filters, that's quite impossible to make such a function. But in digital, it should
You could
be
probably do it with code.
You could do it in multiple filters. So you could do it in analog, but you'd obviously be getting quite expensive. But that's not out of the question. I mean, people make cool filters, making cooler and cooler filters with filter banks and all that really cool stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with. I think I've seen at least one module that is analog that has a peak followed by a dip, or the other way around. And
I'm
control
thinking,
it, and it
seen
does
it too.
track. Yeah, it tracks a cut-off frequency, but it's implemented with two different filters instead of a traditional resonance. I think I've seen that
on
something out there.
multi-frequency filters, like vocoder type things. You can see it on that if they've got the resonance implemented. So is the subharmonicon kind of in that sort of? It might be.
Possibly, yeah.
It might be in that sort of ballpark for you, Henry, and it's analog as well. Check that out. I'm not sure if it's the right one. And there's one of those. I don't know if it's the Labyrinth. One of those like Moog modular things that they released recently had the different filter. I think it was the subharmonicon. Pretty sure it's that one, and it has the resonance in there. So that might be what you're after.
So also a jack for CV resonance would be nice, but it's not very common these days.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So
But we always say that, don't we?
I know we always do.
The thing about this one is that he's made it 6 HP for a reason. He wanted it to be fairly compact and fit into anyone's racks.
All right.
So he's trying to create something for the masses now. So we should come back to the price, which is $199, much like the
first
Florist, local Florist. So it's a similar price range there. It's the double Helix is the more expensive module for obvious reasons, and the more rare one.
I should mention
there you
too, for Richard, thanks Chris, just for Richard, because I know he'd be probably watching this on replay. Richard, we are going to acknowledge that you're doing the Safari Series 9. So he does these themes with his modules, and you'll notice that the graphics, this is something that I know, Brian, you're into as well, so because you're being a graphic designer yourself. So he does the graphics, they're theme-based. This is his Safari Series 9, and that was announced only this month. So this video here's his live stream that he put up about 16, 20 hours ago. We'll have a quick little listen for him at the start here, and he'll talk about, you can see the three modules there, the double Helix, the Crow, and the local Florist. Now that Crow that's there, that is Crow 3. Chris did point out that he didn't take the number onto the panel, but if you go to Modular Grid and look at the previous iterations of Crow, you'll see that a completely different looking faceplate on them, so, and slightly different functionality as well. All right, I'll shut up.
Demoing it, and man, it was so much fun to have the keyboard attached and show it to all these people who really had played it, were playing it for the first time, and seeing their eyes sort of light up when you're like, yeah, that's what this thing sounds like. It was really cool. Super hands-on, really fun to play with.
He's talking about the Tiger keyboard, sorry. We should get into...
But today we're talking about the Double Helix, the Crow, and the Florist 2. These modules you can only get through PittsburghModular.com, or don't get them at all and just watch the video and see what you think about how they sound. So let's start with the Double Helix, because everything is sort of patched. That sort of patched through everything at the moment. So we'll start there and see what we can do. This is Double Helix. I'm sequencing it, by the way, with a Korg SQ64 that's sort of right below out of screen, but it's just playing sort of not a random patch, but something I just sort of banged on the sequencer until it made something reasonable. So this has delay and reverb on. Let's turn that off. So we're hearing just the thing. I don't have any EQ on it on the mixer, So this is just that. The signal path is double helix into the Crow. Or I'm sorry, yeah, double helix into the Crow, into the dynamics controller, into the local Florist. So it's sort of a convoluted signal path. Let's get rid of the local Florist. We'll take out the Crow.
As best as you can.
We will make sure the see what I can do here.
The filter is his envelope generator.
We'll go with that for now. So we're sort of droney, but not. So let's start. Let's talk about what we can do here. So we have, and I'm even going to stop the sequencer because it's going to drive me batty.
So hard doing these live
We'll
streams.
simplify the sound in this. We'll take out the CVs that are in here. And we'll say, okay.
Just before he goes into it, that all that modular patching stuff above the top, he's butchered one of those Tiger keyboards, and he's just brought the patch bay control panel. It's actually pretty cool what he's done. I reckon he should sell that. Yeah. I think he's just done it as a thing. But yeah,
I thought they are selling that.
Maybe they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen them sort of slowly come out as individual strips.
Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, I'll keep going.
Okay, this is the sort of bass sound that we get out of it. Now, we have 2 sets of wavetables. So we have 2 sets of 16 wavetables. We can scan through the wavetables here. And then switch the bank and go through the other ones. And then in each of the 16 wavetables, we have 16 waves that we can sweep through. And we can interpolate through those or step through them. You're going to get different sounds out of those. Let's
It's very lo-fi, isn't it?
Yeah, it's too quiet, really.
Also very low volume. You can't hear the
so it's going to be crunchy, especially at the low end, and at the very high end, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear some aliasing. That's totally reasonable, totally acceptable.
This is going to bite so well into
these, again,
modulation
are just the
effects.
raw waves that we're listening to.
I like this.
And of course, you can, if you want, you can CV this stuff.
Oh,
which is nice.
It's delicious.
And you could also CV the sweep. And then we can select some of the different wavetables.
Oh.
In the bank. Now it's particularly nice. So it's it's at this point, from what we've heard, it's a standard sort of wavetable synth, but it has some tricks up its sleeve. So if we say wavetable detune, it sort of pulls it apart, and now you have 2 oscillators.
I just discovered I have to listen on YouTube to hear the synthesizer. I only hear his voice on
it's not coming through very well.
The invitation. Oh.
Yeah, sorry guys, it's coming out okay on stream, but for some reason it's not coming out well on vMix.
Oh, it's not coming out on
I can hear it
vMix?
great.
You can hear it, but it's
that's
very
right.
quiet.
Yeah,
Let me
it's
see if
kind
I
of-
can sort this out for you.
We'll take out the CV for the sweep.
Is it echo cancellation or something? Is it?
Maybe.
And back to sort of a single focused
sounds
oscillator
like echo.
sound.
underwater.
Nice as well. So we're getting there. The next, and sort of maybe the biggest trick up its sleeve is the processor. This is sort of a frequency-dependent effects processor. So the frequency of the oscillator has a direct impact on how the effects affect the waveforms. So if we start here with layer,
I see the difference now. Yeah.
we can detune the wavetable with that. So you create this whole wild voice.
It's interesting how you
If
guys
we
aren't getting it,
start our
though.
sequencer again.
It's on your bus.
Yeah, just toggle. It's a big
Sounds
difference.
like sounds
There's
like
your
mono
one.
cancellation.
What is that echo cancellation, Andy?
And there are
No, I mean,
16
I
different
toggled
effects that
the
you can
YouTube
use. This
versus
one's
this.
called
Oh
layer.
yeah, so it's,
It's
I
huge,
think if we
huge
do echo,
difference.
if you take off echo cancellation, don't we have to reconnect?
And we can, of course, voltage control the process controller, which is one parameter for each effect that can be set and voltage controlled. And I just have a little triangle wave here going into it. The filter.
Now he's
Which is
doing
nice.
the crow.
So, but what does, the thing that this also does is overdrive. And if we turn up the gain here, and we'll go with a sine wave. So this is our sine wave. And you can hear, even if just a full gain up, we're starting
better?
to hear it. You can hear it, but we didn't even really turn the drive on yet. So
Possibly.
No,
if I
not really.
kill
No,
that
it's-
for a second, we'll start back down here again.
I have no idea what's
Because
causing
his
that.
voice
where
sounds
we
the same
were.
on both.
But just wait, because he's got a sine wave.
And there we go.
It is better,
That's the
but
crow.
not as good as it sounds. YouTube sounds better, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I could hear that fluttering.
Yeah, that's that
Resonance.
This is a
resonance.
sine wave going in. It's
Yeah.
I lost it.
Yeah.
It's a sine wave going in, so there's a lot of gain going on there. And obviously you can tame it back. We can try it with a different waveform. We'll try it with a triangle here. Sometimes you don't want crazy gain. You just want it to sort of hit that part where you can start to feel the sandpaper a little bit.
It's kind of almost like it's fluttering that resonance. Do you know what I mean? Like that's why it's called a crow. It's like a bird-like flutter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's flutter.
Yeah. All right, let's quickly just go. Let's go into the local florist bit now. Hopefully, he does this now.
Infinite resonance without it going to self-oscillation.
Here we go.
If we manually do the time. Now, the local florist, if you're not familiar, I came up with the name because we're very clever. If you say flanger chorus, it kind of sounds like florist. If you say it really fast, a lot of times, and you're in a weird mood. So that's where florist comes from. And then I just thought local florist was funny because you always see the ads that say support your local florist. And that was entertaining to me. So we have our local Florist here. And what this does really nicely is, and extends beyond the original, is the feedback is a lot more responsive in this one than it was in the original. So you have a lot more feedback available to you than you did in the original.
It's usable feedback.
You can obviously get it to self-oscillate, but it rides that line now really, really well. Better than the original, a little easier than the original did, I should say.
Getting that real sort of lost in space stuff happening now.
We also added a tilt control, which affects the
lost in space. I get it.
The delayed signal, so you can make it brighter, you can make it much darker, and that also, because if you're running feedback really high, obviously that's going to have an effect on how the feedback responds as well. So the feedback and the tilt definitely play together. So let's switch now to maybe going out of the Crow. We'll pick a different waveform here. So now we're doing a triangle wave in through the filter. But the filter's not moving or anything. It's just a very static filter, and we're just going to play with the Florist. And you can really hear what the feedback is doing to the sound. If I go full dry, this is what we have. If we switch to, again, this is about 60% wet, and there's no modulation yet at all. This is straight, just straight feedback. The delay times are, they're about 6 milliseconds up to about 30 milliseconds.
Okay.
Because it's a BBD chip, and BBD chips are sort of a pain, and sort of super old technology. Each one's a little bit different, but that's, if I had to give a range, that would be it. When I measured it, I had measured.
All right, we're gonna let it go from there. Yeah. But there we go. That's your 3 modules from Pittsburgh Modular. Woodall and Richard, I think they're actually really, really good. What I like about Eurorack, I always say this, I'm going to keep saying it until my head falls off the top of my head, and that is that you're going to get innovation from Eurorack. These innovations start here. Us modular guys, we play with them, we work out how to patch them, we make them sound good, and then eventually they end up in mainstream synthesizers. That's what happens. This is why I love Eurorack, because we kind of get to play with things before the rest of the world does, to a degree. I'm being a little bit pompous there. But yeah, well done, Richard. Okay. Any questions from you guys?
The visuals, the double helix and all those, they look really great. I'm a big fan of Pittsburgh Modular, but much like the JDXI, can manufacturers stop putting red on black? It's impossible to read that red text on the panel.
Red on black?
And the red jack panel. Yeah. If you go back to that video and zoom in, you can read the white text no matter what.
Oh, I see. On the process select.
Gotcha.
On the cannot read the selector or the jacks.
Yeah.
The red jacks.
Yeah.
So you're talking...
Especially if it's dark.
About this one.
So I mean, either flood it with light or it's just hard to read. Period.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I see, yeah.
Yep, gotcha. Good point.
Yeah. It's
because you want to know what you're choosing. You don't want to just remember 10 clicks in.
Sure.
You know, you want to see it.
He does make the point in the video that the camera doesn't really capture the contrast and the graphics.
But it's the same with the JDXI. I had it right in front of me in the store, and the red on black doesn't work.
I still agree.
and I think you're right, Andy. I think if you can't pick it up with the camera, it's going to be hard in different lighting situations as well.
That's
So,
why I bought the white version of the JDXI, because you could totally read it.
exactly why I got the same one. Yeah, yeah. All right, we are going to we're going to get any more quick comments about the three, Henrik or Ian or Brian. Any of you guys want to say anything about this?
Nothing from me.
All right.
I'm just agreeing with what you were saying about with just modular or Eurorack stuff being, that kind of testing stuff. I see it as it's a synthesizer testing ground for sure, where people get their circuits in there and see what works, and then we see the cool stuff in full synths.
Yeah, indeed. It's exciting, isn't it? I think it's really exciting. And these guys like Richard
It's kinda
Nichols,
cool. Yeah.
he's coming up with some great ideas. And, one of the things I look at is if I hear a raw sound like that real sort of 9-bit, which is a kind of a weird number to throw at you,
it is.
Wavetable, and you just, in those low and highs, you're just getting such a bitey sort of oscillator. And just putting that through, imagine putting that through some analog, flanges or choruses or even, delays and stuff. It's just going to crap all over everything. It's so good. I love it. Yeah, I think that one's a definite insta buy for me. I'm going to see if I can try and get one before he runs out. That's for sure. Okay. All right. Now, Brian, over to you. We're going to go across to here, and I'm just going to introduce just very, very quickly the Afterlater audio. I've just done a graphic here, and I probably haven't included all the modules. Actually, I've probably only maybe most of them anyway. Some of these go back a bit, and some of these are brand new. So, for example, the Sens on the left, you'll see the Sens module. That's brand new. That's only just come out. Now, the Bartender itself, the mixer itself, is a V2. So this is their second generation. And this is basically a mixer system, and it's designed for you to build it as necessary. So you could probably just start with either the bar back or the Bartender, or you could start with either. Obviously, the Bartender would probably be the more sensible one because it's kind of like the mothership. And bar back is there to add to it if you want to add channels. These are stereo channels too, by the way. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you can do with it. So I guess what we could do is head over to you, Brian, and you can sort of tell us, because you did a beautiful video on this.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Geez, it was about a year ago, wasn't it?
Oh, at least, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're happy, I can just play a little bit of that introduction. And
sure. Yeah.
This won't have that Sends module in it, and maybe a couple of the others that are there on that screen. But it'll have
Bartender, barback, Send.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it'll have most of them anyway. All right, let's get this rock and rolling. So here's your voice listening to yourself.
Today, we'll be taking a look at the Nightlife Mixer Series from Afterlater Audio. Now, this is an expandable, customizable mixer series that allows you to mix and match modules to make your perfect mixer. Bartender is a 24 HP 4-channel stereo mixer with the 2 send and return channels, headphone output, and all the different parameters that we're going to go over in just a minute. Then there's Barback, the 10 HP 2-channel stereo expander with all the same features as Bartender that ties in the back to the send and returns. You see here I have 2 barbacks added on. Now I could add in as many barbacks as I want, but if I want to add more sends and returns, you could actually daisy chain more bartenders as well. And then there's Send VCA, which gives you CV control over your send, similar to pan and level. This Nightlife Mixer series is out now, and note there are a few extra modules that kind of tie into the series without accessing the send and returns and stuff, but it does connect behind the scenes, so keep an eye out for those in the near future. You could find
Beautiful. All right. Shall we start, Brian? Sorry, I just had to cough for a second there. Shall we start with the core mixer, which is the Bartender V2?
Yeah, for sure.
And you can tell us a little bit about that, I guess.
Yeah, so the V2, it is virtually the same as the V1, but he There's obviously more connections in the back for the new sends and outputs and all that good stuff. And then he also addressed some there was a tiny bit of noise leakage in crosstalk in the sends. It was like super tiny, but he fixed that in the V2, so that should be pretty much gone. And then if you have a V1, he's also going to release an upgrade to almost a V2, where you get a new back panel, so you could attach all the new good stuff to your V1 Bartender. It just doesn't address those crosstalk issues.
Beautiful. All right.
Yeah.
So let's. What I might do.
Yeah, I'll definitely be hitting him up to get the V2 back, because I just have the V1 in my rack right now. I want all those sends. So yeah, let's go over to the sends then. So with the V2, there's a whole lot of extra access on the back of the panel to attach. You could do, I think it's up to 8 sends. Let's see, and then if you don't use
there's the send. Sorry, I was a bit slow.
No worries. If you use that sends as a standalone, the outputs on the bottom become inputs, and you could use it as a kind of manual send without your Bartender mixer as well.
Yeah, so it's like a matrix mixer, right? If you use it with
So it's not
so
just
like a
an
4x8
modular
stereo
in its own
matrix.
right,
Yeah,
That's
which is kind of
cool.
cool. I mean, it's only $100 too, just for that sends, apparently.
Oh wow, I didn't know it was that low. That's awesome.
Yeah,
he does a really good job with pricing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and then there's also a whole slew of different output options. There's a balanced line output that has I think if you scroll up, it's the DAC looking, that guy. So if you want balanced line output for your mixer, I believe that's going to give you separate channels for everything. And then there are the unbalanced output that are just little 2 HP modules that you can mix and match any amount of those. So there's outputs, and then there's there's inserts along with outputs, so you could insert in to any channel that you want. And the outputs, I think, is great because before you have your nice mixer, but you only have your single stereo output. If you want to do multi-track recording, you get all your separate outputs, 1 through 8, all stereo, and you're good to record.
Okay, yeah. So that's the output that you were saying there, which is just the jacks, and then.
Yes.
That's your inserts.
There should be multiple. There's multiple panels for the output, and there's also some extra sends. There's like 4 different options for the outputs, I believe.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm missing a couple here. What else have I got here?
Yeah, it's not showing all the outputs for some reason. And then I believe there might be an EQ on the way. That can mix in with your channels, so that should be nice, but I don't think that one's there yet.
It's not on his website either, I don't think. So that was the other thing I found a little bit difficult to sort of work out.
I just sent him these final images last week, so
okay.
So I think he's doesn't have the website updated yet, but he sent out the email to all the distributors and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's going.
So let's just jump into Modular Grid. Maybe we've got an update in Modular Grid. Let's just go to. Sorry, I've got a different page up. Where are we? There. So in Modular Grid, if we just go manufacturer. There. Okay, so there's the send, there's the balance out, the outs, the inserts, So there's the some of these things aren't to do with the Bartender series.
yes.
No, but they're nice as well.
It doesn't, but it could. Two different compressor modules. They're nice for throwing at the end of your chain after the Bartender for sure.
I got my eye on those too.
And then the Darv, which is half of a carve.
Yep.
So it's a dual function generator. The Bartender V2.
And then the buyback's there. The Sen VCA's there.
And then cast iron and Mingles also work behind the scenes with the mixers, but it doesn't access the sends.
Right.
But it'll cascade down your audio.
Okay. That's a hell of a lot of options, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's gone to
really
town.
setting up to be able to build your own, custom studio mixer. Yeah. It's really cool. And he's continually adding on to it, and
Really, really good pricing too. So the Bartender V2 is $450, which according to Modular Grid, it may even be cheaper than that at street price. But yeah, $360 is what I've got street price. So sometimes Modular Grid gets the pricing wrong. The only thing that I was kind of interested in, Brian, was at the back. I might see if I can try and dig up a photo. The back of it is where you've got these ribbon cables that you connect everything. And you've played with this, so you kind of know what I'm talking about. So, for example, if you've got two bar backs and a Bartender, you're going to have a bit of a mirage of ribbon cables sort of daisy chaining into this. And then with the sends, that might kind of get even more complicated behind, which is nice because it's not in front of your modules, it's behind where you can't see them.
There's a picture on his website of the sends looking from behind.
There should be an insert card if you purchase these that shows how it all connects. But it's all just the ribbon cables, whether it's the 16 down to the 6-pin.
Was it on the blog? Was it, Chris?
No, it was on their actual After Later audio
on
website.
Their homepage.
Okay.
Yep. It's the second picture on the sends. If you go to the shop, VCA and mixer, and then you scroll down till you get to our sends module, and if you mouse over it, it'll change as well. But if you open the actual page dedicated for it, it's also the second picture. So there you go. Click on that. It's a little Easter egg for Rant. There you go.
Okay, that's the back of the sends one. Okay.
Yeah.
So a little surface mount, 6-pin jack sockets, not jacks, pins, pin headers.
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
Yeah, little 6-pinners, yeah. And that's where that's the little ribbon cables that I was talking about. And so all of that has to get connected behind the scenes. And this is what I like about it, because you're only going to see, how do I zoom out? But
a nice clean front panel.
You're only going to see that. So there you go, 310. So I said 360. Oh no, that's
Australian dollars. Yes, that got
Australian
me too,
dollars.
Rant.
Yeah,
I was about to make a fool of myself, and you did it for me. Thank you.
It's all right. Don't worry about it, guys.
No, it's Aussies.
Aussie dollars.
It's good that he detected the country. I think it's pretty cool, actually.
Speaking of the prices, I have some Afterlit Audio mutable clones. They're great prices. So
they do a good job.
Are they the full size or the mini?
Well, the what was it? The Elements is huge because it has to be, but it's still mini.
Oh, the Korg. Korg.
Yeah.
Because I did the design for all of his full-size mutable ones, that whole Mutable Instrument Classics line.
Cool. Oh, right.
Yeah,
well done.
That was fun. Right.
Also, they do
some have backlit jack too. The backlit jack.
They do a great micro ornaments and crime as well. These guys.
Yeah.
Yep. There's new ornaments and crime fun stuff coming out soon as well.
Yeah, the new firmware. Yeah.
Cool.
Which has got the new chip on it. So the 5, I think, isn't it? They're bringing the 5 one out.
Yeah.
Is it the Teensy 5? I think it's the Teensy 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so with this the After Later Mixer series, what I really love what he did with this, he started with his Coco series, the Create Your Own Complex Oscillator.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing where he makes modular more modular, and you could mix and match and build your own modules, connecting them behind the scenes of different oscillators and a different brain for the oscillators. So yeah, there's a good picture of the back. Oh, is that from my video?
That's from yours, yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
But the other thing that I like about it too is, I'm a big fan of black. I just am. The only thing that I don't like about black is it shows the dust, but nothing a little brush can't fix. But the clickless mutes, you're pretty big on the clickless mutes side of it. Because it's got 3 positions on that switch. It's got the momentary,
Correct.
if you pull forward, the middle, which is on, and then the pushing up, which is permanent mute. So I like that.
Yeah, it's really, really nice, and I know people are real fussy about any mute clicks, so I tried to be very clear in the video that it's pretty good.
Yeah. Now, can you explain, just with the way the channels work, it's kind of funky, isn't it? Because you can use the stereo channel as two mono channels, or a pair, or a stereo channel.
Yep.
So there's kind of like 3 options, right? Can you explain that?
Yeah, there's just a mono stereo switch. So you have 2 inputs on each channel, left, right, or 1, 2. Stereo will just do left and right, and then when you do mono, both of them are right down the middle, and the pan affects both of them equally. So you can unity mix 2 or stereo, or just do a single channel into it.
Okay. Now, out of the back of each channel, so these are all sort of natural wired into the main output, right? So, do they have any individual outs on them?
Not bass, but there is the balanced line output, and then that sends module actually has individual outputs for everything as well.
That's why he built that, because I think that was a demand.
Cool. Because then you can multi-track to tape or something,
Yep. Cool. All right. So, what sort of cost are we looking at? Say we wanted to have the Bartender, a couple of bar backs. That'll give us what? That's a lot of channels. 4 channels plus 2 plus 2.
So that's 8.
A lot. That's 8.
Like 16 mono, 8 stereo.
Yeah, that's a lot of channels. And then the sends. How many sends would that be? Because you get 2 sends on the Bartender, right? And then you get another.
It would be 8 total sends. A send each track is a send.
Yeah.
That is insane.
6,
That is insane. So plumbing a lot of different modulation effects and things like that through. It'd be so cool. Yeah. I mean, it take up a bit of HP, but if you've got a pretty big sort of modular system like I do, it doesn't really worry you. I've literally got the bottom row of both of my cases are mixer duty type rows.
Yeah,
You're already there,
mixer stuff and triggers and all the manual stuff you got to do. That's the bottom row.
Yep. Are there any pre's in these? Any preamps, or there's no preamping in this at all?
I mean, I guess there has to be. There's a gain now.
There's a gain, right?
For each channel, and it could drive up to like plus 5 decibels. So yeah, you could get pretty crunchy on each one if get some nice saturation.
Right. Okay, cool.
Or have it all the way down, and you're good.
Yeah, nice. Awesome. And you're I mean, obviously you're working with After Later Audio, so you're kind of skin in the game here, but just your personal opinion, you've had this now for over a year. This is your go-to mixer, isn't it, for what you're doing?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Before I got this mixer, I was kind of anti-mixer because I was just multi-tracking everything into my DAW, and then using a mutes module, and then I got this mixer, and just having like those momentary mutes, being able to mute the tracks like that was really awesome, and then being able to have the send and return. I don't really utilize the DJ queue, but I could see potentially doing that in the future, and that's super handy as well. And if you like loud headphones, the headphone output is insane.
Monster.
I have it at like 8 o'clock.
Is there like a pretty decent decibel rating on that? I didn't actually check that. I should probably.
I know there's a lot. He left a lot of headroom on it. I'm not sure.
No, I can't find it off the top of my head. Anyway, the the good thing about the headphone is that you can do the whole complete queuing thing, so DJ sort of style too on it, right? So you've got a main mix to a Q mix knob, so you can blend the two, or you can go to one or go to another. So you can literally queue stuff up, and then so almost like you're publishing it live, right? So you can queue it up. Okay, this sounds good, and then put it into your main mix, which is kind of cool. I don't have that on mine. DJ. Don't have that on mine at all. So that's kind of a nice little feature. I use the feedback module mixes in mine, which they're kind of like flavored mixes. They've got like flavored preamps from yesteryear, sort of Boss mixes, or Yamaha, or I think there was a
Korg. I think the other one. KX Korg, isn't it?
No, the other one's the
Y.
Mackie. There was a Mackie one.
Mackie. Okay, that's the MX.
Yeah. So they were kind of more about sort of making an analog mixer with the sort of flavored preamps from the old days, so that you could have. It's actually quite topical today because we're going to be talking about TB-303. So there is a CR mixer that we've got, and it actually has the gain on it. If you max the gain out, it distorts, and you get that iconic TB-303 distorted sound. And that's literally how they did it in the day before they started using different other types of distortion and overdrive pedals on the TB-303s. They literally used to use it on the CR mixer. So on this one, with your gain, does it actually overdrive at all? Have you noticed that?
It does. Yeah. It will do some clipping.
Nice.
Yeah. So you get some nice drive on it. I think in my video I used this sine wave to show the gain. Somewhere I wouldn't go digging for it.
Oh, there's a gain. Yeah, there's a gain bit. Yeah, here we go. We can show it. Yeah, we can show that. Nicely set out video too, mate. Well done on that, because it's got all the chapters in there. Everything's beautiful. Here we go.
Before our level here, though it does cause some clipping, let's just take out the level for a second. We have the clipping from the game going into the input even at the lower levels, so we could drive it a little bit nicely. And then we could drive it even more by turning it up past 0 dB. Though we're clipping it here, we could turn this master down.
Yeah, that's good.
And we have some nice drive to our sine wave.
That's cool.
/ saw wave. Versus that.
Yes.
So you could really push it with the module.
It's kind of subtle, but it's also kind of it gets a little aggressive. That's kind of nice. I like that, and I like how you can
want a little saturation. Yeah.
So you can clip the channel, but that pull it back on the main, which is good.
Yeah, it's nice. You can kind of clip it in 3 spots.
Awesome. Is there any other kind of cool things that you've noticed about this, because you've got this flexibility with all the different modules, and you're up to your, how you want to configure it. Is there any sort of cool little things that you've noticed about having that flexibility?
So yeah, I mean, I only have the V1 in my rack at the moment, and so yeah, it's Bartender, bar back, send and return. I tried more than 2 bar backs, and it was a little too big for what I needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very nice to be able to customize the size and all that. I was gonna say something else, and now I forgot.
I was gonna ask you while you're thinking. Hang on a sec. I was going to ask you, can you put the bar back in a different rack and have a
Yes.
decent like ribbon cable connecting them, and have it sort of like a little rack joining sub mix in a way? Could you do that?
If you had a long enough ribbon cable, I guess. I think he also has that light rail, which is the Ethernet connection thing. So I would probably personally use that. But another really good thing with the bar back I was going to mention is if you want to use bar back on its own, there is this output that output module works with bar back, so you don't need the main outputs on Bartender. So if you want something a little smaller.
Oh, so you can just use it like a little sub mix and then plumb that in the normal way you'd plumb it through the inputs.
Yep.
Yeah, gotcha. Awesome. Well, that's really good. Guys, do you guys want to ask Brian in chat as well? Jump in chat, ask Brian if you got any questions about the After Later Audio Bartender series, or they call it the Nightline series, don't they? Nightlife series of mixes and modules that complement it. Because he's here, and we might as well use him and abuse him in a nice way. Be nice to him. So, yeah, if you've got any questions for Brian, chuck them in the chat. Just quickly sort of pop the chat on there. So the chat's live. We can see that's refreshed. Yep, cool, beautiful. Guys like Henrik and Andy, I know you, Ian, I'm skipping you because I know you're not a modular guy, but... Still interesting.
That's right.
It's
That's the reason why, Brian.
Yeah.
Actually, what I will say is, I went to an EMOM last night, and one of the best sets was done by a guy with just a modular. It's
there
not
you
just
go.
A modular, is it? But yeah, you see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
Just a modular.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Curated modular.
Preaching to the choir here,
When
man.
Carlos used just a modular on switched on box, so you know.
Yeah.
Now, Andy, are you using the Tesseract
muted,
stuff? Henrik, you're muted, buddy, by the way.
Tesseract, me?
Yeah, did you say you use the Tesseract?
No, I have the
It's not muted my end, mate.
the double stacked. I have the double stacked one. What the hell is it called? From France. Hexmix. Hexmix, Hexpander.
Yeah.
And the Div Kit add-ons for it.
The Befico stuff.
Yeah, Befico.
So I have 10 channels now. It's not Hex anymore. It's 10. It's Decamix.
If you can get to 16, then you can really, you can start doing the real Hex and stuff.
10 tracks is plenty of
double Hex.
modular. You get crazy with 10 tracks.
Indeed, it is. Henrik, is that working now for you? Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Good. Okay, I had to reconnect. I don't know why it looked fine. Okay. I'm thinking. Have you considered doing not a Eurorack version, but a standalone, still with the mini jacks, so people with devices like this can connect their gear, because a lot of devices today are using mini jacks, and there are no mixers with mini jacks.
There's that little. I could think of that
Put it in
little
a pod
Volca
case.
mixer, but that's it.
Yeah. The Volca mix, that was a bit naffy though, wasn't it?
Oh god.
Yeah.
It was a bit naff, was that one?
Yeah.
That didn't.
Yeah, that was a bit.
Just get a pod case for the module.
Yeah, just get a 4MS pod. I think
that's
After Later Audio do
would say.
some interesting.
Pittsburgh modular.
Yeah,
had
there's
their little
case
mixer
still
they
no
brought out.
little skiffs yet from After Later, but they got the adventure case.
Yeah.
I actually designed that one for them as well.
Cool.
Does the adventure case come with a pith helmet?
There's two of them. There's a 104 HP and a 184 HP, but it's like a suitcase. You've got the lid, and it's pretty good price too. It's like $500 for the 84 HP, and it's kind of similar size to the Arturia Rack Brute.
It's very, very much similar to that, except with the After Later, you can expand the lid into another case.
Yeah.
But you lose the lid then as a lid, but you can expand the lid to another case, and then you have 14U for under $1,000.
It's pretty good. Pretty good indeed. And also, it's got the Visa mount on the back.
The Visa mount. Yep.
Yep.
I got one right behind me there.
Hang on, let me zoom in on you.
There we go.
There we go.
I got all. All right, let's see which direction I need to turn here. Oh my god, there's a lag, so I'm going the wrong way.
Oh yeah,
there we go. So
it's on the wall.
Case,
Beautiful.
Expanded lid, and then the Visa mount on the wall. Yep.
So, question about the Visa mount: do they make the back metal much thicker, or do they have a plate right under the Visa mount on the back of that?
It's like,
because most cases like that are pretty thin metal. Yeah. No, but must be something inside. Maybe it's much thicker metal.
There might be nuts
usually that metal
inside,
flex.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
I mean, Brian, you'd probably know the answer to that, though, mate. I don't know. Has Brian disappeared? What happened to Brian?
We lost him.
Oh no!
He fell off the Visa mount.
Hang on. We'll get him back. Don't worry. We'll get him back. He's back. He disappeared. There we go. Don't worry, I'll get you back. I don't know what happened. You just kind of disappeared. It's very strange indeed.
Timing.
Yeah.
Internet's good at that.
Computers never glitch. Come on. So.
Yeah.
No,
computers are
he cut him off
perfect.
entirely because he meant
so
to.
much easier.
I just can't even find his link now. What link was he on? There he is.
Hey.
Yeah, gosh, that was a bit crazy.
Sorry.
Trying to do too much on the show. All right, cool.
I didn't lose you guys, so.
No, it wasn't your fault, mate. You did nothing wrong. You're squeaky clean. All good. All right, I think. Well, look, that's even just disappeared there too. So I don't even know what's going on there. I'm going to bring Ian into there. Which one is that? That one. That one.
Yeah, put Ian next to the module. It's gonna infuse.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna head to the next product, which is this baby. This is actually for us on the show. This actually is a second suck of the Sav. Actually, we'll even do
or
it that
third,
way.
or
third, or fourth. It was announced at NAMM. So Ian, I'm going to hand over to you, mate, because
sure.
They've released a video this week. And,
I wish video, because I've looked at the one by Luke. Is that the one you're talking about? The UK one? Or is it the one that's come from America?
It's only 50 seconds. Do you want me to just show it and then you can...
Oh, yeah, just show it and then we'll talk about it.
Goes for a couple of seconds. All right, here we go.
Okay. Wow. Well, right, okay. That's isn't it just? Yeah. So here we are. Wow. Kronos 3. They've not put it on plate, but everybody's talking. Well, everybody from Korg is talking about it being the Kronos 3. They discontinued the Kronos 2, which is this one, mainly because they couldn't get chips back at the time. It was all about that. And then they launched the Nautilus, which was a cut down version. Still had the same power-ish keyboard. And now it's back. It's not really that different. So it's still got the 9 engines. The effects are still the same. The 16-track MIDI sequencer is the same. The 16-track audio recorder is the same. The things that are different, and really there's a new motherboard, and there is a new SSD, which does mean that it will load a lot quicker. Now, the problem with that one is that load time is about 2.5 minutes. So if you lose power and you're on stage, you've got to wait 2.5 minutes before everything comes back on. They've apparently, according to Luke, got it down to 40 seconds now. And that, I mean, the only other things that's new is that they've put some new 120 Triton sounds on, which are backward compatible. So if you've got a Nautilus or you've got that, you can just download them from the Korg website for free. I think I've only once loaded external sound libraries into it, because that, although it's 2.5 minutes to load up, the more sound libraries you've got on the old Kronos, the longer it takes. You know, so and it'll be interesting to see with the Kronos 3, does that 40 seconds become longer, or will it stay? Time will tell, really. There's a lot of new.
Was this created
combis
the Oasis? Is that what this was about?
Sorry, it's. I mean, it was interesting because I had to spend quite a bit of time looking about the Karma engine thing, which is their sort of automated thing. Which I have to say, I've played with it a bit. I've never really used it, but I suppose if I was songwriting and I wanted to put just some backing on there, that it will create all that sort of stuff. And it's quite clever.
It's great on the M3.
Sure some people, yeah. So that's where it came from. It came from the Oasis and the M3 and et cetera, really. Now, when I looked at the Korg website, they didn't mention it at all, but it is still there. They're just not talking about it.
Yeah, it's in the manual.
So they're not really that much different. Interestingly, you can't buy them in the UK at the moment, and I did try and log into I found out this morning. I tried to log into my dealer account, and my dealer account has been disabled. So my official relationship with Korg has finished. They've not contacted me.
Wow.
So it doesn't matter. I mean, I thought, have I forgotten the password? No.
You were too honest,
that's
Ian.
fine.
You're way too honest. They didn't like it. So
well, I mean, I was a Korg fan. I'm still a Korg fan to a certain point, but you've got to say what's honest, really.
Exactly, yeah.
Price wise,
I got some prices.
Well, the UK prices are the 88.0 is 3,199. There'll be a lower street price for that, probably $3,000.
Yep.
73 note, which is that one, 2,949. So it's not that much different.
No.
In terms of it's I would expect that the price difference to be bigger. Between those two, and the 61 note, which is not hammer action, is 2,649.
Yeah, watered down on the keyboard.
My criticism of the Kronos right the way through has been the hammer action. Now, what happens with me is I play it and I thought, oh, this feels horrible, but then you sort of get used to it. And I'm sure if I was playing it day in, day out, I would really get used to it. But it is not the best keyboard action in the world for a hammer action. I mean, I used to own Yamahas, and Yamahas were actually far, far superior.
Yeah.
On that. So the other thing is you can't switch it off. So although there's the really, really good Korg organ engine in there, you can't play it as an organ. So you need you need to have another keyboard, basically a MIDI controller to make those sort of swirls that you get from an organ point of view.
Does it have an actual pivoting arm hammer action, like a mechanism in every key? Is it?
I saw a video of somebody taking they've got like metal rods in them, I think, and he took all, this is on the Kronos too. He took all of the metal rods out, which I thought that completely. What's the point in doing that? So it's. I mean, the fact that it's got those 9 engines in there is its really plus point. Yes, I owned a Poly 6 back in the day, and it doesn't quite sound completely like an analog Poly 6, but it's for live work it's good enough, really, or for recording for that matter. It's got an MS-20 in there.
Does it have a granular engine?
There's a. I did bring up the website. There's where is the engines? Sound engines. think there's
That's kind of standard these days.
yeah, there is one. I think I can't remember what they call it now, actually, but
Okay.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that there is. Oh, I can't find it. If I'm honest, Andy.
While you're doing that, Ian, I'll just tell them the prices
Sure.
in the US because
Go on.
Brian's in the US and there's also Andy there. So 61 key through Sweetwater is $33.99, 73 keys $36.99, and 88 keys $39.99. So they're all under 4K and above 3K. So I kind of feel like it's if you were like in the US and you were getting one of these, I think the sweet price is definitely the 73 key, which is the one you can see pictured here, and it's still got the hammer action if you do like that. If you're in Aussie land, which is where I am from, and we're basing these prices on Belford Music, DJ City, those sort of places, you're looking at anything above 4.5K Aussie. You're looking at 5K for the 73, and 88 key is quite a bit more. It's nearly 5,700 Aussie. So yeah, but even still, when you think about that, it's actually still pretty good value. In one other thing quickly, I just want to mention.
Yep.
It's got a new Intel Atom processor in it with the 3 gig of RAM and the inside. I think you mentioned already the 128 gig SSD in there. So that's 6 minutes to boot up? Is that what you said?
3. No, it's about mine's 2.5, about 2.5.
Oh, okay. So what I'm trying to work out is there's the screen any different? It's an 8-inch color touch view display. Is it the same as the previous one, or is it better?
That's what I want to find out when I actually get to touch one. It doesn't say anything about the screen. The screen is a bit laggy. I tend to use a stylus with it rather than my finger because of,
skin in the game with screens from
not,
Korg.
It's not the best screen in the world on the two, I will say. So I'm hoping that
hard when you use an iPad though. So
sorry,
it's hard when you use an iPad, which is instantaneous.
Exactly, because and the iPad is perfect by comparison.
Don't forget though, the iPad is kind of a trick because the screen itself has a lot to do with the operating system behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So, just to tell you what all the 9 engines are, we've got something called an enhanced SGX2 Grand Piano sound engine. And I have to say, the Grand Piano sounds on it are really, really good. They have a German emulation, and there's a Japanese one that came with the 2 as standard. They may have, I think they launched another one, so they've probably added that to the 3. There's an electric piano sound engine, and I've used the Wurlitzer. I think is really, really accurate, having played a Wurlitzer back in the day.
Yeah.
And I've recorded with that. The CX3 is their tone wheel organ engine, which I think is really good. There's a it's called the HD1 high definition synth. What does it tell me any more about that? A standard PCM-based sound generation doesn't say
Rumbler,
much more
basically.
about that.
Yeah,
it
Rumbler.
is. Yeah, MS-20. The thing about the MS-20 is you can patch it through the screen as well, which is quite, like the MS-20 on the iPad, which I've got as well. It's probably identical to some extent.
Does it let you do the
Poly
MS-20 in poly though?
No, it won't. No. Poly 6.
No poly.
Because it's not quite as good as the original Poly 6, but they're going. We don't expect it, do we? But the original Poly 6 was really good in those sort of string sounds and things like that. Which I remember back in the day. An AL1 analog synthesizer sound engine. Analog being an interesting word there, isn't it?
Analog modeling.
It is. They don't say modeling though, but that's exactly what it is. That is the engine. That's the original feature engine of the Korg Oasis.
Right.
So that's where that came from.
Not the Radius.
Not the Radius. No. We've got a Mod 7 wave shaping VPM synth sound engine.
Yep.
And last but not least, an STR1 plucked string sound engine. And I have to say, the plucked instruments, the sort of guitars and things like that are pretty good. You know, I mean, you can't get complete articulation of a guitar, but from a sound point of view, it is pretty good. You know,
is the Mod 7 anything to do with like 7 operators, or is this the name? Is it? Why is it called Mod 7?
Combining variable phase modulation with wave shaping, subtractive synth, PCM playback, and modular patching. The Mod 7 engine offers an exceptional level of versatility inspired by Korg's. Oh, it's Prophecy. Korg's Prophecy and the Z1 synths. I don't think I ever played a Z1.
I haven't played that.
It's ideal for creating everything from classic. It doesn't say
basically a fancy prophecy, right?
Yeah, it is. By the sounds of it, yeah. Everything from classic FM to blah blah blah. You know.
But I think the big thing, Ian, is I don't know how much better the hammer action is, but they are obviously. You mentioned before they're talking about the Italian grand piano that they've brought in. This is a new feature, and also the Tyne EP, the early electric piano. That's also new as well. Yeah. So they're boasting a 60% faster startup time
that's right,
with a new touch view interface. So this is kind of what I was interested in. So I was just having a quick read while you were talking. So yeah, the key is RH3 weighted. If anyone wants to know what that actually means, RH, R for Roger, H for Harry, 3. Does that actually mean anything to anyone? Let us know if you understand what that means.
It doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah. The other thing, I guess, that I feel is it just a Korg thing because they want you to buy different synths and collect them all? We should probably put that graphic up in a sec. But it would have been nice if they had the digital engines of the OP6, the Mod Wave, and all of those in here. I just think it would have been nice.
Absolutely. Yeah. I completely agree. That would have been superb, actually. And it wouldn't be that big of a job for them to do it, surely, you know.
Well, the thing is, it's not going to stop people from buying one.
Issue.
Because this thing is a $3,000-$4,000 synth. No one's going to, they're not going to miss out on sales. They've already spent big dollars with them. Sorry, Andy, go ahead.
It's funny you mentioned the CPU issue and the startup times because the Machina Plus has an older generation quad-core Atom processor, and it boots up very quickly. So,
if I know anything, Korg have probably got like a Linux operating system running this in the background. It'd be some sort of,
So does Machina Plus.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing
I can say something.
Go, Henry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, tonight we have Dan Phillips on the Senior Sense stream, so we can ask him some of these questions. So please remember, Andy.
Okay.
I already put a link in. I'll do it again.
Chuck the link in, Andy. Good on you, mate.
Yeah, do that.
I put it in 3 times already, I think.
Nah, keep doing it. Now, don't forget, like we said before, we've talked about this at the NAMM show we did, and also, I think there was another announcement, I think, prior to that last year. But for anyone who's an existing Kronos and Nautilus user, Korg actually plans to release a sound pack in the latter half of this year. And so they want to bring those latest Kronos sounds to their earlier models. So that's kind of nice.
They've already done that with the Triton. The Triton sound pack is free to download. But there's the other combis. I'm sure there's 240 something combis, 256 combis, which are all new. And I suspect that those are what they're probably going to be launching, which is good, really.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I don't use it a lot, but I'm not going to get rid of it anytime soon. If I had a gig with a road crew, then I would be using it on stage all the time. I think it's a great stage keyboard, really. To get.
I hope that Rompler mode includes some of the Korg 01W stuff. That's my favorite Rompler stuff. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually, if I'm honest. It's a while since I've just played pianos on it of late. I mean, the M3 is good too. I mean, the M1 is good too, but the M1, yeah.
Well, Ian, you've done a fantastic job of introducing the Kronos 3, and I think Korg are are loath to disconnect you from their reseller network.
Yeah. Put 'em
Because
back
you've
on.
just sold it, mate. Any Kronoses that sell on behalf of this show, make sure you mention Sinner's Music as referred you.
Yeah.
Make sure you mention that. You heard it here. Get him back on.
But my relationship is. I mean, I'm still friends with Luke because I saw him at. Was it last year's Synthfest? We had a good natter. Yeah. So, So me and Korg, we're done.
Does Luke actually work on the products, or is he mostly like a demo rep guy?
No, he's demo, yeah. But he'll be at things like he was at Synthfest, So he will have been at the one in Norwich, which I didn't go to this year, back in February. You know. But as soon as I get to play, I have to say I don't expect the keyboard to be any different because the Nautilus keyboard was exactly the same as the Kronos keyboard when I played that when they launched the Nautilus. But I am interested to find out about the screen.
Yep. Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if you're liking the stream, don't forget to click like and don't forget to, subscribe, because if I don't do this, the YouTube algorithm hates me. And I'm just doing my thing for the service of YouTube. Please do. Right, we have got a Name That Synth, and I am going to launch it right now. Yes, Name That Synth. It's been a while since we've done one, and just in case you guys don't know what Name That Synth is, it's a little segment where we have someone who sends in a video, and they're going to be playing a synth, and you guys have to guess. And this particular segment does have a prize. It's actually sponsored, as you saw by the little intro there, by Plugin Guru, and the prize is Unify, which is the awesome sort of like library type plugin that you can get with a whole bunch of libraries loaded with it. There's a good value there. And Skippy, which is the owner of Plugin Guru, he's really, really active with that product as well. All right, so what you're going to do is we are going to play the video in a second, just after I stop yapping. And during the video, you guys can put your guess in. You only get, you can have as many guesses as you like, but your first guess is your official guess. And YouTube chat's the only place you can do it, unless I've got someone who's monitoring Twitch. I don't know if I can. And you must get your guess in before I say time is up, which I'll write into the chat room. So if your guess appears after that, unfortunately, it's too late. Now, I will give you guys an extra 30 seconds. We do have a 30 seconds countdown somewhere, so I can find it. So, yeah. Right. So, where are we? There's my 30 seconds ready. Okay, cool. And then we are going to go into here. Let's go. I'll mute everybody. Alright, get your guesses in, people. When the countdown finishes, I'm going to say time is up. Not many guesses in. All right, time is up, and we've got the guesses already in, so no more guesses, unfortunately, for you guys. So we are going to go into here and reveal what it is. Here we go. Indeed, it's the Mutual Instruments Ambika, and that one,
I forgot that existed.
yeah, that one was given to us
That
this
was like
week
the first one.
by AZO Head, who's in chat. Bert, well done, mate. You've fooled everybody. Let's have a look at the answers in the chat. Let's scroll through the chat. We had, what did we have here? We had Jack saying it was the Polybrute 12. We had Robbie, I think it's Robbie. It's either Andrew or Robbie with the ProSynth Network there. Modal 002. Ian thought it was M Audio Venom. AZO Head is entering his own competition. Wagoo thought it was the John Bowen Solaris. And I don't know what Andy's on, what drugs he's on. And Henrik thought it wasn't the TB-303 not. So anyway, nobody got it, which means the person that wins the copy of Unify is Bert, AZO Head. So well done, mate. I don't know if you've already won it or not yet, but if you have,
He's won before, yeah.
if you have, that's cool.
That's good.
But let's show people what
video.
they do if they haven't. Okay, so we'll head over to my website. Anyway, let's go to this button here. So if you haven't won it before, Bert, what you can do is go to ranzee.com, click on the Name That Synth link, which is just there on the right-hand side under the menu. Click on that and get rid of the ads. Scroll down and fill out the winner registration form. And that will submit it to me, and then I can send your information through to Skippy. Now, if you guys are interested in actually entering like Bert's done, you can actually contribute to the Name That Synth segment and get yourself a copy of Unify if no one guesses it. Make it difficult like what he did. It's a great... I think this is actually one of the best things you can do to get to know a synth one-to-one. Like when you haven't played with a synth for a while, get a video camera out, start playing with it, and just record what you can. Now, just remember with the submissions, they have to be an unlisted YouTube video, or you can send me a download link video. You must only use and record the synth sounds that it produces. So no external FX, EQ, compression, or treatment to trick us. It's got to be the sounds out of the back of the synth. Just record that straight into your sound card or audio interface, and that would be fine. You are able to multi-track the synth if you want to, so I'm happy for you to multi-track it so that you can produce a bit of a song out of it, get something, because that showcases some of the features of that synth. And other information is there. So well done, Bert. Good work, mate. Good work. We love this stuff.
I was gonna guess the Shruti.
Oh, that was close. Yeah,
I saw the mandala around the knob.
mandala. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Well, while we're at it, why don't we give you guys the second clue for the synth quiz, which is knob shift. Oh, I've had fun doing this one this week.
I have knob shift. I had to go to the emergency room, so.
Indeed. All right, so you got your second clue.
Take some emoji.
What we should do is just quickly jump over to chat, because chatties like to talk about what just happened, and everyone's going, damn, wow, what was that? Ah, geez. I forgot about that. Yay. So it was all good. Bert, you got a good reaction from everyone, so that means that's great. And it just goes to show you how cool that that segment is if we do get people contributing to the show. So well done. Right, let's get on to another segment, which is everybody's favorite.
Yay.
Price Watch. And have we got some doozies this week? Yes, we do. Right, well, let's start with an ARP 2600, shall we? I mean, it's iconic. Everyone loves it. And this is actually a real one. This is a 1975 original model 2601 version 1. And you'll notice that it's got the black or grey background, so it's not the red or orange paint. So this is actually one of the earlier models. Okay, you're looking at nearly $14,000 US, which is about, Chris, just are you sitting down? It's about 21,000 Aussie. If you want to get this. Now I
can't even shoe my car for that.
I will remind everyone too, by the way, you'll see the chat bot is telling you guys what the blog link is. I think it did it a couple of minutes ago. These auctions and everything that we show in the show is on the blog article. It actually automatically publishes at about 6 p.m. UTC time. So even these auctions, they're still live. Yes, there we are now live on eBay. Let's go and have a look. Isn't it beautiful? It's one of my favorite synths. Absolutely beautiful. Big shout out to Mike's Guitar Bar. Good stuff, mate. Awesome. Nice photos. Really well done. I mean, obviously, this is a love affair. If you had one of these, you would absolutely look after it with cotton kitten gloves. But look at it. Isn't it a beautiful thing, eh? Who would love to have an original ARP 2600? Specifically, this particular model, right? The filter in this, guys. What's different about the filter in this one? Can anyone remember?
It's the original Rev 1, so it's the one that's...
Oh, this is the lawsuit Moog filter, right?
This is the Moog filter. It's Moog.
Oh, yeah.
But what's also good about this is it also has the keyboard, which is awesome, and it's in really good condition. No broken keys. Oh, the keys are a little... I think there was a photo where it showed them a little bit sort of... not exactly perfect, yeah. But
one's slightly off center, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of the keys.
Well, you would be after if you were that old too.
Exactly. It looks great. Looks like it's never been... Looks like he's never gigged, that's for sure.
Look, there's the serial number, 278. There you go.
It looked like a fader was changed on the keyboard.
Right. Probably has. Probably had a few repairs over the years.
Probably had some.
Yeah. Anyway, there is the ARP 26.
Come on, Rant, you have a perfect copy in your back corner there. It's just as good. So.
It's perfect, mate. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's doable.
It's fine. Yeah,
it's doable. Now, you guys know that I've been absolutely salivating over the Yamaha CS series recently, and it's kind of weird. It's almost like AI and Google and that just plugged into my brain because that popped into my feed, which is a CS5. It's not a CS30. I know I love the CS30, but CS5s are pretty cool. And look, $798 US is not too shabby indeed. I think this is actually a pretty good price. This one is really good looking condition, I feel. Looks like everything's all been looked after. This one is the 250 volt version, which means you can play this one in not only in Australia, but you can also play it in the British places. The British places.
Good old Blighty. You can play it in Blighty.
You can play it in the old Dart Inn.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I do have no reason why I was just talking about all these lovely little photos and everything, but there we go.
Nice red velvet.
Serial number 1149 for those playing along at home. There we go.
Again, great condition.
Really good. This
Everything
one
I've ever bought from Japan is always in good condition. So,
this one is in Japan. This one's located in Tokyo. Yeah. Hopefully it's most of them are pretty good, I feel, anyway. Now, along the same lines, we also have another CS, and that is the CS15. And this one is a little bit more beefy and bigger, but check the price out. It's literally cheaper than the CS5. So this one's also in Japan, and also it's live on eBay.
With the case.
How much does it say for shipping, though?
It was pretty nasty.
Yeah.
These photos are a bit pixely on this particular one. Bit dusty looking. Couple of stickers stuck on the knobs there.
Yeah.
But the CS15 does have a little bit more features than the CS5, of course. And he's showing that there's blemishes on the knobs. That's fine. The old power button on the right-hand side of the keyboard. That's how you know you're in that age, isn't it?
Yeah, don't hit it by accident while you're performing, right?
That's it. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's why it's called Yamaha. They thought it should be Yamaha, but they changed it to Ha.
Now, I've just had a look at that listing. It says it's out of stock, so that one may have gone in between the day that I've copied it and not. But anyway, that's fine. Let's keep going. There was another CS15 on there, which is similar price. What about this? A Roland JX8P. I used to own a Super JX in a rack mount called the MKS70, so I know all about this baby, this engine and everything. It's a bit of a dog to work with as a synth itself, but once you get the programmer for it, it's absolutely beautiful. So as this,
and you can play the final countdown.
You can play the final countdown. Yep. Yeah. But look at the price, $840 US. I think that's a steal. That really is good. This one is based in Japan, I think, as well.
It's cheap.
This one is in Soka Saitama in Japan. I'd probably just butchered that. Let's have a look at the listing. "17 photos of this baby. This definitely has had a life, this one. It's all scuffed. And that's probably why the price is what it is. But hey, if the voices are working, the filter chips are working on this, it should be okay. And look, the LCD is working too. That was the other thing I was going to say.
That's what every synth should look like when it's that old.
Yeah,
it shows it's well played, well loved.
Yeah, indeed.
I had a neighbor in college that had one. I borrowed it, sampled the crap out of it into my Emacs too. It was great.
Nice.
But you've got to get the programmer. If you don't have the programmer, it's a painful life.
Did you have it for the rack? Did you have the rack programmer?
I didn't, and that's one of the reasons why I let the baby go, because I just couldn't gel with it. I could just, you can download as many presets for the thing as your heart's content, but you just can't do sound design on it, and it kind of pisses you off.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Good price, though, that one there. And also another good price is the Sequential Circuits 620. This one is in Kansas City in... what's the state Kansas City's in?
Missouri.
Missouri, that's right.
Well, there's also Kansas City, Kansas as well. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's across the border.
In Kansas.
Yeah, of course. $842 and some cents. $1,200 for us, Chris, if we want it. Doesn't ship to Australia apparently. So anyway,
I'm not seeing this one. This is fancier than the Max that I have. This is like a Max with more controls on it.
Yeah, I don't remember this at all. This is
Manny hates the Max. He's in chat. He does not like the Max.
So what is this, guys? Is this an analog? Is it digital? What is it?
It's the same engine as the 6-track.
Right.
So you can get an editor on iOS to edit the Max, the 6-track, and probably this one. It's the same engine. Oh, it is the Max. Okay, there.
This says it's the Max. Yeah.
Yeah, it is Max. I didn't see the Max print there. It said 620. So, so you can get an editor and iPad for this, and it's really easy to use.
So they're calling it the Model 620, but it's called the Max as well. I'm confused. Are they two different things, or that's just a different name for it? Or
I think that's the actual model number, but Max is the fun name. It was meant to hook to a computer, basically.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. And that is it. What would you guys get this week? We had the two Yamahas, the CS5, the CS15. We had the ARP 2600 version 1. For the love of God, that's a beautiful thing. The JX8P, which is the beautiful 6-voice. I mean, really, it's kind of like the cheap version of the Jupiter, really, wasn't it? Really. Yes. And then the Sequential Circuits Max, or 620, if you want to call it that. Anyone salivating over any of that?
The ARP.
I'll have the JX8P.
The ARP.
Not the price of the ARP, but the ARP.
Yeah.
ARP with the Moog filter. It's pretty cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
Kent is
I
saying...
remember playing the CS5 and thinking it was pretty good, but I wouldn't have thought it was still revered after all these years, though. It was okay, but it wasn't. I didn't think it was exceptional at the time.
Yeah. So Kent was saying the Sequential falls apart, apparently. I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It's
really cheaply built. I mean, I got one for really cheap. So,
I mean, even when you think about it, 800. It's what is a 6-voice? Is it? A 6-voice synthesizer.
Yeah, it's the same as a 6-track. It's the same engine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should have bought 6-track though, because
So it's Curtis, is
one
it?
came
Curtis?
up about the same price.
Curtis oscillators, I'm guessing.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Drawing a blank right now.
I'm completely not looking at any websites. I'm just guessing off bad memories. I've never ever played a Max or a 620, same thing. I've never played one, so I don't know what it sounds like.
If you played a Poly 6 though, it's the same keyboard, same
Played a Poly
basic
6
sound.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought the layout on that, if we can get that back actually, it's just a really interesting layout for a synth. Like it's nothing else looks like that. It's kind of it's almost like a data entry sort of system, isn't it? The way that
It reminds me of those old telephone systems, those consoles that you have on your desk that businessmen had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that kind of...
The old PABXs.
An old Ericsson or something, yeah.
That's it.
I mean, they probably threw it together out of spare parts just to hook with computers. So,
Kent says, just so you know, the ARP Tonus is one of his restorations.
Oh, nice.
ARP Tonus.
Tonus, which is ARP.
Okay.
The Tonus had the Moog filter, right? That was the Tonus version.
Oh, is that
Version
that's what it
one.
means, that Mark 1?
So the 2600.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
That's probably why it looks so good then, because it's
Well, that one's in Seattle, in Washington, if you want to get it.
Yeah.
The Windy City. It has the tail clue. Ah, okay. Cool. Geez, how much would it cost to ship a 2600 from London to Seattle? That would be a little pricey, I would suggest. A little pricey. Anyway, we're through all the main segments, and I feel like where we're at now is we can do the third clue for the synth quiz. I feel like I'm comfortable. Are we ready, guys? Now, before I do it, if you do want to stick your answer in, make sure you say my name so it highlights it and I can read it in the chat, because otherwise it's just walls of text. And then put synth quiz and then put what your answer is. And here's the third clue. Ratchet CT. Now don't go and Google it, okay? Don't go and... If you're going to go and Google it, you've only got yourself to live with. You've only... Like, if you can lie straight in bed with that dishonesty going through your head, that's fine. But you're supposed to have a crack at this just using your brains. Now, if you don't know it, that's cool. Have a guess. Guesses are fun. But just don't Google it. It's just not fun. And don't DuckDuckGo it. Or Ask Jeeves it. Or ChatGPT it.
Yes.
Don't do any just use
not
your brains.
do not use Encyclopedia Britannica or anything like that.
All right, Andy's going with the Hydrasynth. Okay.
Stumbled on my word.
Just because of the ratcheting thing. I don't know too many things that have ratchet controls right on the front panel. So
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Wagoo's got his guess in, guys. Come on, guys, get your guesses in. Only third clue, I'd say 15 milliliter long ratchet socket, says Kent. Well, put your guess in. Is that your guess? It's a synth. Does that socket make sounds, does it? It probably does when you whack yourself over the head with it. Let's let that fester for a little bit, I think. Well, why don't we let that fester, and what we'll do is we'll go into Saturday Sonority. Today, you can ask us anything about TB-303s. If you want. You don't have to. If you just don't want to play nice, that's fine. But, yeah.
you stick a quokka on them.
That's it, mate. Why don't we do this? Okay, yeah, it's a Behringer TD3, but hey, it's a TB-303 clone. I'm not wealthy enough to own an actual TB-303. I do apologise. I did used to have a Roland boutique one. Chris, you've got yours. Let's go have a go with Chris. Bang! Yay!
Not that one. That one. Yes.
Acid. Oh, it does a drop. Yay.
Yay.
Nice. I loved it.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Good.
Yeah, it's great.
Cheers, guys.
Ken Spong said, I bought a TB-303 here that came in for cleaning and has only ever been used for 10 minutes when it was bought in 1981 for £179. Wow. Geez, you'd have a bit of appreciation on that now, wouldn't you? All right.
Paul Holmes will give him 178. Yeah.
Good on you. Good on you, Paul. You're not a tight ass at all, are you, mate?
I think that's gold bars, isn't it? 178.
Yeah.
Press platinum.
Let's have a little chat about the TB-303. We'll get to the answer of the synth quiz in a couple of seconds. But first, let's just talk about the TB-303. 1982 was when Roland released the TB-303 bassline, they called it, and it was actually supposed to be a bass guitarist accompaniment for organs and bands and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's a okay, if you guys don't know what it is, it's a monophonic sequenced synthesizer designed to emulate bass guitars for solo musicians. The TB stood for transistor-based, and it was only considered a commercial failure by Roland, and they discontinued it 2 years later in 1984, and there was only 10,000 of these ever produced. So there's 10,000 out in the wild. I wonder how many are in landfill, buried under years and years. It's always
I know someone who has 3 of them.
Yeah. So what ended up happening is in the late 80s, there became this kind of acid explosion. Now, Darren, unfortunately, is not here, and he absolutely loves this topic because him and I, we were into house music in the early days, the late 80s, him and I, both of us. And you guys will remember Chicago being one of the first house places in the world to produce house music. People like Future or DJ Pierre and Adonis with like their house music songs. They rediscovered the TB-303 with their squelchy resonance, sliding notes, and unpredictable sequencing. They found it kind of interesting when they put it through the CB mixer in overdrive, and you got that beautiful squelchy sound. Tracks like Acid Tracks in 1987 by Future was immortalizing out what we know now as the acid sounds. Who here went to clubs in the day and actually went batshit crazy to acid music? I did.
No,
Maybe.
sorry I didn't, but hey ho.
on the tail end of that era, maybe.
Now, what I thought we'd do is we'd also, because, there's only 10,000 of those that ever made, so not everyone's able to get one. But the good news is there's plenty of clones out there that were made, and I thought I would talk about a couple of potential options that we had as clones. And one of them, when I was actually doing this little article for my website, I thought it was interesting because I wasn't going to list them all because I thought, that's just going to get kind of a bit dry and boring. But what I did think I'd do is show you some of what kind of were clone-ish. And the first one that I came up with, the Novation base station, the original, the 1993 one. Absolutely. And the reason for it is because it's got an acid filter on it. But then obviously Novation went and made version 2 in 2013, I think it was 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. And they still offered the classic acid-like filter option on it, but obviously improved that synth dramatically. So if you guys get yourself a base station or a base station 2, you could probably have similar sounding. It's not going to be exact, but you could have similar sort of acidy sounds on there. Then you've got some weird looking stuff like the Future Retro. In 1997 they brought out the 777, and that is really kind of like an expanded 303. I didn't actually remember this, and then when I was doing my research, that's right, I remember this thing now. This has got the built-in drive for the filter, so but it also features MIDI and CV gate. Then obviously Adafruit or Lady Ada did the XOX box. This one was very, very famous at the time. This is when everyone was in the sort of mid-2000s were trying to get back into the acid scene. And so there was a lot of little products popping out. There's a few different face designs on this, but this was the original. The XOX box was an open source hardware project, which made it really interesting for its day and age. And they were actually using really kind of rare parts, which made it kind of difficult for people to build. But hey, there's a few of these floating out there. The big one that a lot of people got because it was kind of really done well was the Cyclone Analogic TT-303. It was almost, a perfect clone of the originals. They call it the base spot so that Roland wouldn't sue them. It is really a one-to-one clone of the original, and they later branded it just called the base spot, by the way. Then obviously we got the digital one that came out from Roland themselves. It's the TB-303, the Boutique. That was 2016. Wow, that's actually... I didn't realize that was so long ago. That uses the analog circuit behavior, and they modeled that after the TB-303. I remember watching videos on this with guys in white coats and talking about how they got, measuring equipment on capacitors and stuff like that. It was kind of interesting. We don't really know how much wankery they got into with this ACB stuff, but one of the things that they did do is they released these IRA products, right? And one of them was this thing that's really, really interesting. I actually think... That's
my favorite.
If you ever wanted a modern version of a TB-303, this is it. Because it's digital, it's got the TB-303.
Sliders.
Yep. It's got the sound in there, but it's also got the effects, and also it can do a whole bunch of other stuff. But what I love about this is that really interesting performance part of this.
Thing,
yeah. So Roland, this would...
touch... It has touch, it has built-in effects, so you have all the distortion and the delays and the reverbs and all that stuff you want. Plus, that's just the A bank. B, C, and D, I think it's 4 banks total.
Yeah, there's digital stuff.
Tons of other sounds, so it makes an amazing brain for a MIDI keyboard. So
also, the sequencer on this is quite intuitive as well. Through the touch screen, the sequencer, you can actually use this to sequence external gear as well. So it doesn't just sequence the stuff inside it. It's actually pretty well, one of the really well implemented IRA products, I feel, and very, very cheap. You can probably still get one of these. And then we've got Behringer, and that's the one I just played for the purple TD3. Behringer released TD3 in 2019. It is truly a budget clone in many, many regards, but they had done a really, really good job of actually, faithfully recreating the essence of a TB-303. And then later on, they brought out this modded version, which is the I guess the Devilfish mod stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a few other bits and pieces on here as well, some other mods. Now I find that quite a bit pricey actually. If you ever look at the price of the TD3MO, I kind of find it a bit pricey. Yeah.
A couple other ones that are really popular were the DynSync RE303 was supposed to be considered the closest one before the Behringer one came out, I think, and also the Future Retro Revolution. Yeah, the round one. It was a circular one, and the fanciest one was the Avalon.
Yeah,
that actually
I saw those.
All kinds of.
Oh yeah, the Avalon's great. Yeah.
Thought I'd leave a few out.
Like $1,000.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I thought I'd leave a few out on the article so you guys could talk about it. But software-wise, there's a few. Now, the one that I used in the early day was the Rebirth RB338 by Prohellerhead.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have it.
It's discontinued, but you can download the software if you do some Googling, you can find it, right? Really is a good way of getting the 303 sort of sound in your computer. It's all digital, of course. I didn't mind it at all. The one that they reckon is respected is the Audio Realism Baseline 3 or ABL3. If you guys haven't seen that and you kind of want just one in your DAW, that is the one to get, I believe. That's what most people are saying. So, yeah, 303 is really, really interesting. Now, if you do want to check this out, this is an article on my website. There is actually a video that Roland did a few years ago. I'm not going to play it, but there's actually a documentary on the TB-303. Goes into quite a lot of interesting stuff. So if you've never seen it, go check it out. There we go, guys. Have a little bit of history of TB-303 to wet our whistles. You enjoy that?
Yeah.
My favorite is still Troublemaker on iOS. This one's incredibly cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, I found the TB3, the TB3 that I've got, which is the red one,
Yep.
It fits really well in a mix.
Yeah.
Fits
Brilliant.
really, really well in a mix.
Behringer did a good job. I'm not gonna bash him for it.
Yeah.
Roland had their opportunities to make it like recreate it analog. They decided not to do it.
Yeah.
They did digital versions of it, being pompous. And so Behringer went, "Well, stuff you. We're going to make one," and they made it. They made it cheap.
It's 88 quid now. I think.
Who's got one?
But the Roland one's battery operated. You can do park bench compatible, right?
Nah, that's true.
I almost got the Behringer one, but then I got into modular at the time, and that took over all the side synth stuff. But I don't have a 303, but I have this module is really nice. Let's see. Wait, am I in the right spot? It's right next to cells.
Go left a bit.
The
Pixie.
Acid filter. Right there. Blue Lantern.
Oh yeah, the Blue Lantern one. Yeah.
The acid filter, it's really, really good. Acid and Sons. I think he only did a really limited run of it, but it's really, really squelchy, awesome acid filter. And the bandpass gets even squelchier. It's great.
Awesome. Now Kenty Poos has joined us, so I'm going to get him into. We're going to go into a bigger screen. Just give me a sec while I just load all these in. Kent, can you hear us, mate? No, what have I done wrong? Yeah, audio's on for me. Audio is on for me, mate. So let me just double check. Zoom guest. Which one are you? Zoom guest 3. Yeah, audio is on for me.
So make sure your Zoom audio is not muted.
Are you done it through the Zoom website? There's a weird way to make sure you're not muted. There's a little microphone icon somewhere. We had this problem before with...
Should be in the bottom left corner. There's a little microphone.
See if you can find it.
Yeah, it's not one of those charms that only appears when you...
Actually, let me go to the Zoom.
There you go. How's that?
That's it. You got it, mate. Hey.
Got a StreamYard, mate. What's the matter with you? Anyway. How are you all doing, gentlemen?
We're doing good, mate.
Good, thanks,
Better
mate.
for seeing you, Sunshine.
Good. Okay, well, I thought you Behringer-owning peasants would like to see this.
Yeah.
A real one.
Pull out your wares.
A real one. Now, believe it or not, I was on strict instructions that when I, because it's here for cleaning, on strict instructions not to turn it on and not to test it.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, wow.
No, this bloke is putting together this museum or whatever. But anyway, here we go.
Oh, that's probably why. Yeah, it's museum people.
Here we go. Oh, look.
Wow.
Never used.
Yeah.
Oh, let's hold it up a bit. There we go. There you go. A never used one, no less.
Wow.
Wow.
Ah. So he doesn't keep it with batteries in it because
No,
I told
it's
him,
not.
don't keep it with batteries in it, mate. What is the matter with you?
Wow.
Yeah, he bought it for, it was brand new, £179 from a local music shop to him. And yeah, played it for 10 minutes and then went, lovely. Right, put that on one side and make sure it's... But he sent it to me in this. I thought he might send it to me in its original box, which he has. He has all the original box and everything. But yeah, but he sent it halfway across the planet for me to dust it.
That is hilarious.
Which is mental when you think about it, considering how much the gear in here needs dusting. And I haven't dusted it.
Yes, you may be putting dust back onto it from your studio.
Yeah, well, actually come and think of it. Every time I walk in here, I go, well, if somebody paid me, I probably would. But nobody's offered yet, so. So I thought I'd just come on and show you.
No, I love that. I'm glad you did. I was
the whole
hoping someone would.
Incredibility, you know?
Yeah. I was hoping someone would rock up with the TB-303. It's actually nice that yours is kind of in pristine nick too, because there's a lot of scuffed ones out there.
Mate, I have seen some TB-303s, and you're like, what have you done to this?
Yeah.
And I don't mean just like all the extra, control sockets on the back for various bits and pieces. But, they've broken and lost knobs over time, or, there was one guy literally accidentally backed over it in his van from the back. It was touring. He's come out of the pub and he's loading everything up, and he's put, damn it, put everything down on the ground. But I completely forgot about it. And, what was that noise? Kind of thing. And I had to solder all the circuit board back together. I got it working, but it.
Wow.
No, it had a John Merrick kind of vibe to it.
Jeez.
Oh,
So it worked, but it was very much sort of like, but it worked, So
I'm not an animal. I'm a 303. So
Yeah.
But it still amazes me even today when I went to see when they launched and I went out to see one, and. It's typical like most people my age. Wasn't interested in girls. Didn't know what they were actually, and it was like like this for this thing and the 606, and the demonstrator demonstrated it and he goes, oh, you can do this, and he went dum 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 dum. Because that literally, I think that's what Roland intended them to be.
Yeah.
It's really like a
backup bassist, for guitarist.
Yeah.
Mate, all the bass players, that's where the 10,000 went, I reckon. The bass players bought them and chucked them in the skip.
Yeah.
We're not going to lose our jobs.
Yeah.
So, and hence probably why they only made them for a couple of years, and sort of like, we're moving on now. We're actually making polysynths more often now, so I don't think we need to worry about it.
Hey, Ranzee, you brought a module. This is Defra's offering as the basically elements of a 303 in a module.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did buy one of those Roland reissue thingies they did.
Yeah,
those little ones. Yeah, the boutique ones. I couldn't remember the name of them. And I was like, I was pretty much the same as this guy, and I went, yeah. Put it one side. I didn't really go back to it again. So I used my one because I had one for a while, but I used mine as a sequencer. But I never envisaged what the kids were going to do to them later on. Make them sound the way they did. What TB-303s? The reason they cost so much money is because what they did with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
it makes you wonder about sometimes the musicians are better synth designers than the synth designers sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's true with a lot of stuff. I mean, Paulie did a thing with the Kawai K1. It just took it way off the rails, and it's way more interesting than the boring Kawai K1. So,
yeah, it's weird, isn't it? That's just
Indeed.
it's one of those things. Well, anyway, I thought I'd show you this anyway. But so I'll bug out now and let you get on with your show, and because I'm on poo patrol.
Oh.
5 dogs, and I haven't done it for 3 days. Give you a rough idea.
We're not going to be showing much more, by the way. So we're kind of wrapping up. So you can hang around if you want. You don't have to go. But if you're busy, that's fine. What I thought I'd mention.
Not exactly want to go and do it.
You need an excuse. You need an excuse to stay.
It sounded very.
I've rescued you, mate.
I'd love to be here, but I got poop to pick up.
Yeah. Story of my life, mate. I tell you.
One of the things I mentioned before is I've got the feedback modules mix CR mixer, which is just next to me here. It's this one here, and it's got the CR preamps in it. So, I mean, you can actually get a TB-303 sound just by using this mixer with any sawtooth or square wave oscillator, and I've got plenty of them here. I've got Roland ones there, and VCS3 emulating ones there, and over here you got Behringer ones, 2500s and System 100s. So you can actually buy the pre-CR as actually a separate module, just as a preamp too, and you can do the same thing. It's only I think it's like pretty cheap, Chris, isn't it? The pre-CR module. So
it's not outrageous.
I can plumb something in if you guys really want to hear it, but I have shown it before on the show.
Yeah, you have done it, before, but
yeah.
I look at that and the first thing that pops into my head is like,
it's a long time ago.
So have you had any decent pictures come back from the Deep Space Probe yet?
It looks like mission control, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's I'm looking at that going, yeah, I understand it, but it still looks mad to me. You know?
It's evolving. It evolves because I don't keep all my modules in it, and I pack them away and put them in drawers and bring them out and stuff like that. But there is a method to the madness of that setup. The right hand cabinet has Roland stuff in it and VCS3 stuff in it, and then there's a bunch of sequences and effects down the bottom. And I should probably show you while I'm talking. And the left hand. The left hand one has a lot of Behringer stuff in. At the moment, I've got a missing module up the top, which is the one I've been working on with the update from AM Synths with the expander. That's why it's a little ribbon cable hanging down. But the 2500 series stuff from Behringer are brilliant, really, really good. Like top ends. I have absolutely no problem with them at all. Even the System 100 stuff is good too. So
they're stupid cheap too.
Stupid cheap, yeah. And you like the 960 sequencer, Kent, don't you? The 960 sequencer's just there.
Yes, because it's exactly the same experience as using a real 960, except you can leave the other 15 grand in the bank.
And you don't have to find the stupid chips.
Which you won't, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good that these 2500 modules have been done as well, because, I mean, something like a standard up 2500 VCO, an original one, you're looking at 6 to 8 grand for just the one module.
And then you've got
they don't come up.
Analog Solutions are doing their take on the 2500 at the moment, which I think I'm actually really, really impressed with them. To be fair, because it's not a replica, but it is in a little bits have got sort of hallmarks of it. It is pretty cool. I do.
Yeah, but Tom does a lot of his stuff like that in that sort of way as well. So, because I mean, his Mega City sequencer, I don't think he made many of them. And it was huge. It was a huge panel. Yeah, and it was this 64-step sequencer, and it had that kind of 960 vibe to it as well. So, I mean, Fiona hated them because she built them for him, but, she I never want to see another one of them again, But yeah, but it's good. I like all this stuff coming back. I must admit, it's. I thought, for a while we thought maybe it put me out of work, but it hasn't really. It hasn't.
No, in fact, that's actually a really, really good point, because during the week I updated my graph. And you guys who have been watching my show for many, many years will know that I have been keeping the left eye, just kind of almost squinting on the prices of the SH-101. And I literally has started doing this in 2019. I've got spreadsheets that go all the way back. And have a look at this. There is the latest SH-101 prices mapped out from both eBay and Reverb over the last 12 months. And that just goes to show you're absolutely mad as a batter if you sell it on eBay, because look at the difference in price that they're selling for. The blue are, in some situations, less than half. So that shows you eBay is raping you. Secondly, though, it just goes to show you that none of these prices are going down at all. That's over 12 months. You do have some bad months and some good months, just like any used market, right? That's what you'd expect. But look at January. January, look at that. Like $2,500, probably nuts. Closer to $3,000 someone sold an SH-101 for. And this is just a proof. I mean, I've been doing this now, these things for a long time. These prices have not changed at all. So if you think Behringer have ruined the used market, they haven't.
Is this with or without the net controller, right? So
I don't know. So some of those prices will have the net controller. Some of them will be in mint condition. Some of them will be in poor condition. So that's why you're getting fluctuations. But that graph each month is a calculated average of all the sales. So I've gone in through the spreadsheet, collated all the sales, averaged them. So it's a pretty good representation of what's been sold. So if you guys are interested in kind of, this is why we did Price Watch on the show. It's kind of the same reason, right? If you're interested into, synthesizers as an investment, it is. You can actually, if you're smart, you can buy in cheap, keep it, hold on for a few years, sell it, make some money. You can do that. There is definitely the potential to make money on it. One of the examples that I had was I bought Mogafogas in before they discontinued. I bought them in, $300-400 Aussie dollars, and I sold them for nearly $2,000 a couple of years later because they got discontinued. Oh. So that's how you can make money on certain products if you know what you're looking for. It's hard though, because Kent will attest to it. A lot of the old stuff has to go to him to get fixed, and you just don't want to pay the money to fix some of these things because it makes the whole caper uneconomical, right? Yeah. You'd only want to fix it if you want to keep it and use it.
Well, it's interesting because Richard at RL Music, he noticed that when Behringer brought out their 2600 clone, he started to get a lot more inquiries from young people asking about the original ones.
Yeah.
Where they're going. So if I can get the money together, can I get? So they want the originals as well. Mm. Maybe a little bit further down the road, or depending on whether they got rich mummy and daddy there.
Oh yeah.
When some of them have bought them. So, but it was the Behringer one that got them to realise that this thing existed in the first place. So it's all swings and roundabouts. Yeah, it is, and it's interesting. It's happened with a lot of machines where a clone of it comes out, or a very, very heavy nod to a particular machine comes out, and then suddenly they go, yeah, but what's the original like? And they go, oh, it's that much. Oh, I'll have to save up, kind of thing. But the market has stayed relatively stable. I'd say vintage is down now. What it is the prices have reached a point where they can only go down now. They've collapsed in terms of people wanting to buy things.
Markets are always dictated by demand, though, Kent. So if people don't have the cash, because the world's going through that, lack of cash now.
Well, yeah,
inflation
certainly
and
at the
stuff.
moment that is the main factor that's involved. But like with your graph for the SH101, where it peaked in January,
Yep.
you could attest that to, at the time, there was a couple of people who had real hard on for it, a real original SH101, and there was only one or maybe two being advertised for sale.
I could probably tell you actually.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see.
Where are we? File.
Because the other
That's the
factor,
problem, Ken, is not most of us don't have one of you around, right? So to fix them all the time.
There are more than one of me. I've never understood this.
But the really good ones are few and far
I'm
between.
running off a list
so.
of 12 people right now from all over the planet. You know, but
Yeah. There are a couple local ones that are okay.
I
But
think
they're not.
I think I'm the only one that's a flash bugger and goes online.
Yeah. So
Talks about it.
January.
That's what it is.
January 2025.
I agree.
2 days apart. Reverb only, by the way. So let's bring this graph back up so you can see. You can actually work it out. There were two sold, both in excellent condition. So you guys know how reverb works. You've got that you actually have to specify the condition, and it goes from mint or new, mint, excellent, very good, good, and then I think bad, I think poor or something. Anyway, 2995 was one of them, and 2396 was the other. 2 days apart. So both of them above the 2K.
Yeah.
And that for an SH101, that's still decent money. The biggest sale I saw for an SH101, which is really surprising, it was $4,000.
Christ.
Yep.
Did anybody buy it?
Yeah, yes, it's sold. These are all sold listings. I won't list them in my graph if they're not sold listings. $4,723. This is US dollars, by the way. And the next one, by the way, that wasn't excellent or mint. That was just very good condition. So whoever wanted that was in January 2023.
Yeah.
Then in March 2023, one sold for just under $4,000, 3,941. And in May, mint 3,469. So people were still spending,
A real monkey on the back for that. That's crazy.
But then you do get a few outliers where someone's bought one for $900. And it just depends on how desperate the guy is to pay his phone bill or whatever he's trying to sell it for. Musicians, you know what we're like.
Well, I mean, I must admit, I shouldn't be saying this as a synth restorer, but synthesizers like the Juno 60, the SH101, the CR78, the TB-303.
Yeah.
They have been recreated flawlessly, and there is absolutely no sonic reason on the planet to buy an original one at all.
Yep.
So
It's
when
romantic.
somebody, there is that, but there's also, I think, an element, and I think I've seen it a couple of times with, shall we say, younger people. It's look how big my dick is. Kind of, that's the purchase. That's the
what
point
I've
of the
got.
purchase.
Status.
Yeah, exactly so.
Status.
It's like, yeah, but I've got an original, and it's literally that.
Well, this is the thing.
It's like gold.
Some of these
Collect them all, people. Collect them all.
Yeah, because I say some of these recreations, they have nailed them, absolutely nailed them, and there's no, they haven't nailed the CS80 yet. That might be a lie, bitch. But they will eventually get the whole thing. That's getting close.
Well, with your tweaks on some of those software things, you got really close, right? You were saying that. If you know the
we're
instrument
working.
well, you can make it sound like it.
Well, funnily enough, I'm working with Andrew Longhurst at the moment to make up a set of CS80 patches on the MAX based on all the, because I have all the how to put it, I built charts of the presets, so I can relay them to the front panel and then take voltage readings, and then we can work out, amounts from 1 to 100 based on the voltage reading of the various sliders on the output boards. And it's all very sort of like,
digitizing.
yes, just kill me now kind of process.
Did you wear your white coat when you were doing that?
Yes, exactly.
No, I should be in a straitjacket when I'm doing that too.
It's a different one.
He had the glasses with tape on them when he had that.
Yeah. And because of the knowledge that I sort of like obviously accumulated over the years. Like for instance, when people say, "Oh, Van Genis only used presets," that's actually horseshit. What he would do, like for instance, we go guitar 1 and 2. He loved the sound of it, but he converted it up onto the panel so he could manipulate controls while playing. And once you know that and you're listening to him playing, you can hear him adjusting like the attack in the VCAs on, say, guitar 1 or 2 or whatever. Because of this, I said to Andrew, I said, well, then we've got to be able to transfer various controls to, say, the sliders on the M8X. So you have what appears to be the preset, but then you have the manipulation controls as well that you can do while you're playing it to get closer to that whole 80 experience. So, and we'll see how it goes. And it will be available for $9.99 or something stupid like that. I don't know. Whatever.
With a free set of steak knives.
Yeah. Or was it one of those alarm? Was it alarm? What's that? Those alarm clock and teas made set or something? But yeah, and then yeah, then we've pretty much recreated the 80 on the M8X until I'm happy, that sort of thing. And but yeah, but
you also got close on the Hydrosynth too, right? Didn't you get pretty close?
Well, the Hydrosynth can do it really. Yeah, it can do some of the presets. It can't do the guitar 1 and 2. I've tried to at least as far as I can operate it to try and get guitar 1 and 2 on it. It gets really, really close, but not close enough. So it sounds okay down the bottom end of the keyboard, and it's like up the top. It's like
it's a scaling thing.
But it's the other way around. Yeah, I mean it's because it's because you have this volt per octave thing that everybody we've had in our synth community since Dot. The 80s gone. Yeah, I'm not going to follow that. Here's the door. Off you go. So I've got to find a way of getting around that. So, but we know that software will eventually do it. They'll nail it. So hopefully I've retired by then.
You'll never retire touching synths though, mate. So yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I mean, but as far as repairing them for carrots.
Yeah. And if people actually
I can see it drying up at some point.
Well.
Yeah, mate, I can see it drying up at some point. I really can.
One thing before I forget about the 303 stuff, I have a friend in the UK, kind of famous, Mike Dredd, who does a lot of acid shows since the 80s and 90s. And he has 3 original 303s, and he travels around doing tours. And his secret for distortion is a Boss SE50.
Okay.
It's real gnarly. And it sounds amazing. It's like, holy shit. Well, it's a little rack mount, little half rack.
Oh, it's a rack mount. Okay.
Yeah, the SE50 and the SE70. I have both SE50, SE70s. It's my first vocoder I ever bought was SE50s.
Remember those little puppies?
Yeah, they're
cool.
Good.
Fantastic. Well, are you guys happy with the little TB-303 montage we did this week? I thought it was
definitely. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, it's the 303 show. I'm guessing in 101 shows we'll do a 404 show and 505 show and.
We used to try and do it for. You used to try and do it for every single show, and it got a bit too hard.
It just got too hard. Yeah.
It got too hard. Every number.
I'm looking to your 501 show.
501 show, yeah. Can wear some jeans.
Yeah. Let's hope tape is still available.
Indeed.
Jeans will be a luxury then.
Yeah.
Yeah. There'll be someone against farming cotton.
Yeah.
Cotton
That's
is
the original button fly, the 501s.
Absolutely, mate. Good old 501s. 2600 show, please. Oh, thanks, Paul. I mean, geez, can you imagine how old I'll be after 2600 shows? Wow.
Yeah, it'd be worth the wait though.
I don't think Paul means that he's going to wait till we do the episode 2600. I think he actually just means that we should do a show on the 2600. Yeah, just do it next week, hey mate.
You could have done it on the 260. That's close enough.
Yeah, you could have done that.
Well, I've got
just
3
divide it by
2600s
4,
here
maybe.
now, so just let us know if I have to give them back.
Yeah. There's some news coming out my side of the woods. So stick around with the channel subscriptions and all that sort of stuff, guys, because there's going to be some really interesting content coming out very soon, which will be related to all the stuff that I've got here. And there'll be some really, really interesting things that people will be able to do with that stuff. It's about all I'm going to say. I'm going to keep it cryptic at this stage, but think of connectivity and think of all that sort of cool stuff. We can go from there. What else can I tell you? New album is underway. Thanks, Ian. Yeah. So I'm planning on getting it out before the end of the year. So this will be my 5th studio album. So that's something else. I'm just going to keep myself busy now until the end of the year. And this particular album, I'm challenging myself again to maybe not a theme of the album itself, but I'm challenging myself to do it a certain way that will force me to use the gear that I've got here in a certain way. So that's about all I'm going to say at this stage. And then when it comes out, it'll make sense. So
Blindfolded?
Maybe.
Standing on one leg?
Upside
Yeah.
down.
Stand there and piss all over my Eurorack, see what noises.
That's a very quick way of patching, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, connectivity. It's only voltage. What could possibly go wrong?
It's very flexible cable. Yeah, that's all it is.
I do when you do this stuff, right? You do kind of. I mean, Brian, you'd know this as well, mate, because you're into it. You kind of find the flaws really quickly. You sort of. There's so many, like working with analog oscillators, as you know, can be an absolute pain in the ass because they always go out of tune and they don't track properly to voltage per octave like they're supposed to. So all of these things become a daily, frustration. You feel like smashing a sledgehammer into them sometimes because it just becomes annoying. And then you go, thank God for digital. But then you get down the digital rabbit hole and you think, but it just doesn't sound the same. And, so you start you end up fighting with yourself. But then when you get into modular, you get all these kind of weird things go on where maybe I've put too many modules in my rack and the power supply isn't handling it properly. Who's done that?
Yeah,
I had that actually,
or I move an oscillator to a different case and then I have to recalibrate it because the power consumption's a little different.
Yeah, that always happens. Yeah.
In fact, when I was beta testing the one of the modules from Paul Schreiber, rest in peace, and I said, "What is wrong with this thing? It keeps doing this." He goes, "Oh, I think you're starving the module." I said, "Oh man,
gotta get some more voltage, mate."
yeah."
We need Scott. Where's Scotty? On the Enterprise. We need some more.
I
That's all I got, Captain. I can't got the alarm.
Can I change the laws of physics?
Can I change the laws of physics? We've forgotten the crackers. Anyway, so
Or the
this
famous
is kind of
"Hello, computer" with the mouse.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But this is kind of the cool thing that you kind of, when you're producing an album and you're trying to you're challenging yourself, and then all of a sudden it throws challenges back at you, and you're like, no, don't throw challenges back at me. I've got enough challenges on this side. Yeah. Anyway, this is life. It's like the other day when I was building that Behringer module with the AM synths, and the guy put the freaking shroud, pin header shroud on the back to front, and I'm like, why is this not what? And Chris was watching my stream, and he's like, I know what's wrong.
Wow.
He's put the thing back to front.
I showed him a picture.
Was that the whole run, you think, or was that just yours?
I don't know, but his email back to me was hilarious. It was like, I'll fix the manual. That was his reply.
Oh, that's right. I remember you saying that.
Anyway,
I've got
I haven't done anything more with it, by the way. No, you go.
I was just going to say, I've had a Soma Terra update. You know, my sandpaper fingers. They emailed me yesterday and said they're going to send me a set of sensors free of charge.
Oh, good.
Which is nice of them.
Nice.
Good.
You know, so hopefully that'll solve it.
Oh, by the way, while I remember it, keep your eyes open. Admittedly, this was very, very early this morning. I haven't slept all night again, and I was a bit bleary-eyed. But I'm just scrolling through Facebook, you know, doing the doom scrolling, and there was a Thomann advert. I went, "Oh, cool!" Clicked on it and had a look, and they had a PB12 for sale, £475.
What?
And
What?
yeah, and the minimum, they're having this 80% clearance sale. And I quickly sent a message to Rob. I said, "Yeah, do you fancy buying another PB12 and everything like that?" And he got back to me about, well, a few hours later, obviously, because he was asleep. And he's gone, mate, that's a fake website. I went, what? He goes, look at the web address. And it was Thomann ZE or something.
Oh, it's a scam.
URL gives it away, especially the rollover. Look at the rollover.
Yeah.
But because I was like,
Yeah, you're dozing. Yeah.
they nearly bought a fake PB12 this morning.
Yeah. You would have got a magnet in the post.
Yeah, if would have got a lead weight or something, yeah.
But the thing was, it looked very authentic. Very authentic.
They clone. Yeah, they cloned the whole site.
They give you 12 jars of peanut butter. So they...
Yeah. But
Happy 4th of July.
But I thought I'd just mention it, just a warning out there to everybody.
Absolutely.
Be on your toes, guys, because there are... Oh, you can't say that on here. It's not a pub. People.
You can say it on here, mate.
No, let's just say we know what C
He means the C word. Yes. Yeah.
And others are trying to wangle you out of your hard-earned cash. So beware, people, please.
Well,
this has been a public information.
And watch out for the scammers.
Ranzee, you know what sound to play for Kent based on that website? Tell him he's dreaming, right?
That one.
Telling me he's dreaming.
All right, we're going to finish off the synth quiz because we've got a winner for the synth quiz. We're going to do this real quick. See if you guys can guess who the winner is. Geez, it's going to be hard to guess. But this is the answer. It was the Moog Sub 37, or if you want, the subsequent 37, that is the actual synth. And guess who got it? Just have a guess.
The Jelly Boy. Jelly Boy got it.
Starts with a W.
Like Google?
Wag Google. Yeah, Wag Ass Jeeves, Wag, Duck Go.
I really haven't seen this.
He swears black and blue that he doesn't. No, good on him. He's guessed it correctly. He was the first person to guess it correctly. I don't know if anyone guessed it after that, though. Well, maybe they've just copied him. Oh, yes, it was that. But I was actually having a little laugh at the knob shift feature, which is actually, if you guys wondering what that knob shift is about, yeah, it's kind of when they've got a setting and you can catch up to that setting type thing. It's the knob shift.
Yeah, catch up mode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's absolute versus relative scaling kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's put off. Oh, don't be put off, buds. The ratcheting CT is literally a term that they use in the manual. I just thought it was... I was just going to put ratcheting, and I thought... the first one that we said was multi-trig, and I thought, geez, everyone would go down the electron, path. No one actually gave electron a guess.
LFO,
So,
isn't it?
yeah.
The LFO switch, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's on
Yeah, you can multi-trigger it.
as well.
There's a couple of nice little features on that synth, by the way. That would be a great synth to do a Name That Synth on. Really would be. That would actually be fun. I've got one sitting in the corner over there. Can't see, it's behind the behind the ESQ1 there. Anyway, we need to do How's Your Week Been? And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people to do How's Your Week Been? Can we do... Chris, you've got a little bit to get through that, don't you? So we'll do you first, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we'll start with Chris. How's your week been? Yay!
Yay! So, yes. So my week has been mixed. It's still another week where I didn't get as much time to myself as possible, but the good news is my teeth are fixed.
Yay! Good on you, mate. Good job.
So now I just have a huge overbite. And not a broken tooth. And I still look ugly. So, but at least I look ugly with not broken teeth. No, it was, yes, it actually went rather well. And my dentist said, don't come back and see me. Your teeth are fine.
That's
what do you
nice.
mean you haven't been to a dentist in 25 years? What are you doing right? Yeah. So that's nice.
Probably
Yes,
not going to the dentist is the
I must
the
be
key.
an intense...
Some people are genetically blessed. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that, and I must be obsessed. Yes, that sounds like me. Yeah, so that during the week, got over that. Then, some stuff came. Yes, I got some stuff from Wales, all places. I might just change it to yes. I'll just change. Is it that one?
Brian knows what that is.
Dweefer. Yeah, we're working with him with our side company, Mega Modular Corp. We're doing a module with him.
The what I called the US Modular Mafia, I think.
Yeah.
No, I just I ended up getting a panel and PCB set for this, which I haven't done before. I normally just buy kits, but I had most of the components, so I thought, what the heck, this is what I'm supposed to do with my surplus components, or not necessarily surplus. So that's cool.
That's the phaser, right?
Yeah, that's the phaser.
The phaser.
The demo was, I watched the video and just went, oh yes, I need that.
Just the stereo on it is.
It just
awesome.
the stereo aspect of it really blew me away. Yeah. So
I'm jealous.
yes, more when I make it, when I put it together, we shall test it on the show. Definitely. The other thing that came was this little fella here.
That's what I'm jealous about.
Oh, is that the one you're jealous about?
Yep.
So we were looking at a BBD-based device today in the news. This is like the cheapest one you can possibly get. This is the EDU series.
This is not
Is that
all
Erica
that.
Synths?
Yeah,
That's that
this
guy,
is Mort's
the
Klein
German
again.
guy.
Yeah,
Mort's Klein.
yeah. He's just done a great job of making these things available to us, panel, PCB, and all the components and all the good stuff, because I wouldn't know how to source some of the transistors and whatnot. Certainly wouldn't know how to get the BBD chip. But yeah, no, that's a... it doesn't have... comparing it to what we were looking at today, it doesn't have an inbuilt LFO, but it does have like full control over the way the clock works and the way the bleed works or something.
What's the BBD
It's
chip?
very, very... it's a good question. I could not tell you off the top of my head. But it will be in the build manual. I will let you know later, Rants, so we can nerd out on what I'll say it's one of the ones with the two pins, the pins at the end and none in the middle, but I think they all look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the Panasonic one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so he would know.
Well, the Panasonic
so
one's
apart from
got... it looks like a standard chip.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Cool. So there's that. And what was the other thing that called? Oh yes. Slight update to my shop. I have some. Let's see if I can get the right screen. Okay, I made a slight change to the knobs. So we now have. If I can get my slides up. Oh god. This is Chris struggles with. Okay. We have new knobs. The old knobs are gone. These are the new knobs. They're now Funk Topper compatible. So I've got my orange Funk knobs on there. At the moment, that's all we're selling at the moment. But in the future, you will be able to have a choice of different knob colours. This is something that one of my customers mentioned when he bought the module. Plus, I've not been happy with the quality that I've been getting out of the 3D printed knobs that I've been using on the units to date, so I thought I could do better and we worked with my 3D printing guy to make an adapter that allows it to work quite well, and that's all been fleshed out and is working good now, so I'm ready to go live with that. So these will be the knobs going forward, and you can even pull off these ones and put on your own black ones. So hopefully a few more people will get some enjoyment out of that aspect of it, because at least one customer thought it would be cool. So I thought it was a good
Yeah,
suggestion.
3D printed knob quality is tricky. Ask Grey Wolf about what he put on his box when he was sending them out. Those are falling apart. So.
Yeah, well,
I had to
I'm not
replace
so
mine.
sure about the longevity. Did make me a bit nervous, but I was getting just inconsistencies, and if you don't have access to another 3D printer, you're kind of stuck. So I thought, no, it's time to call it. I've got a much better solution. So
indeed.
So we've gone with that. So so the 3D printed part is now underneath the knob, and it's not a visual component; it's a mechanical component, and that's 3D printed mechanical components work in this situation, especially when they're in compression. They're fine for years, so
Beautiful.
that's a good one. So apart from that, I'll obviously restock the store to be able to put that advert up on the website. I'll just quickly check and see if there's anything else that I've forgotten. There probably is, but we'll leave that for another time if I've forgotten something. Back to you, Rance.
Yeah, I'm just going to give the guys in the chat a link to your shop.
Sure.
Bang. Done. All right. Who are we going to go with next? We're going to go with Andy. Andy, how's your week been?
Hey, just busy. Again, no time for really any music projects or music podcast stuff of my own. Missed Harbor Jams, I think, for 3 weeks going, so I've just been too busy. But funny stuff happened with driving around in San Francisco. Was it the night of the 3rd? They were lighting up rockets and mortars in downtown San Francisco, and between all the buildings, and people were freaking out. It was super loud. People were yelling, screaming. The cops were driving around all nuts. It was complete bedlam. And then last night I was driving through East Palo Alto doing some rideshare, picking up people, and still kind of a sketchy area, not as bad as it used to be. For once, it was the myrtle capital of the world, along with Oakland and Washington, D.C. But now it's been cleaned up. It's decent. But they had so many different fireworks displays of rockets, mortars, all kinds of illegal stuff. And the cops are just driving like, we can't do anything about it, because literally every block had and you can see sparks hitting the ground. And the guy I gave a ride to in the area actually said he felt some debris hit him with the stuff that's blowing up. And so that was fun. It was like being in a DMZ driving through there, and just just crazy. I mean, and in the old days, those sounds would be from actual gunfire. So now it's at least refreshing. It's fireworks.
You don't have to dodge them.
Yeah, I was waiting for one to come through my window though, because sometimes people are dumb with those things and they shoot sideways.
Yeah. If you've ever been on a plane near the 4th of July, is really cool when you're flying over, just seeing all the fireworks going off below you. Yeah,
that would be cool. Yeah, but that was most of the excitement this week, and then of course Henrik has a show later today. I'll put the link in the chat again. So
yeah, awesome.
That's it.
Yeah, good on you, Andy. Speaking of Henrik, how are you, mate? How's your week been?
Yeah. It's been some downs and ups. Am I too loud right now? It sounds loud here. Yeah.
It's not too bad. I think you're good.
Okay, good. I did a noise show last week, and I think it went well. But then somebody wrote some negative comments about me and my abilities, and I didn't think it would hurt me that much, but it did.
Oh, no.
And
can only apologise.
No, he didn't apologize.
I
I was so stupid that I argued with him, or started to argue. And
don't do that.
Yeah,
don't
just
go.
be
then I didn't
naive.
sleep for a night. And the day after, I just blocked him. And since
Good
then,
boy.
the week have been good. Yeah.
I've found with
except for
getting
one
YouTube,
thing.
Yeah, keep going.
But except for one thing, the week has been good. I bought this thing, and it arrived after a little more than 2.5 months wait. And it's wonderful. But then I had to change the processor inside the Pico to a Pico 2, and I broke the screen.
Oh no!
So yeah. So now I have to wait for a new screen, but they are sending me a new screen at least. So that's my week.
So why did you change the
Ups and
processor? Just
downs.
out of curiosity, is it to make it faster or just
It was a Pico 1 at first, and I needed to change it to a Pico 2, the new Raspberry Pi processor.
Yeah.
And also with a wireless connection.
Yeah.
So
you get more features. Yeah.
So
gotcha.
that's why I did it.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Well, I've put your YouTube channel in the chat. I know Andy's been posting the link to the stream as well, but your YouTube channel is because you were talking about your noise shows that you do, the live streams that you do as well. So I want people to go subscribe to your channel and check those out because they're awesome. And don't listen to the trolls, mate. Don't listen to them at all.
Yeah, stuff.
No,
Yep.
I won't do
lots
that
of bad
again
eggs
next
out there,
time.
don't
It's
worry
just
about it.
blocking from the start.
Yeah. All right, over to Ian. How are you, mate? How's your week been? Oh, muted.
You're muted.
Muted, buddy.
Take a drink, everybody. So I said good morning, good evening, good night, good day. So yeah, busy week. Put out the Audiophile Radio Show on Monday, which was
Yay.
a bit from everybody who played on the upstairs stage of the EMOM Festival in Leeds from May. So that was out Monday. Also put out, I'm doing the podcast. So I put out my podcast as well. That also went out on Monday. That was top 10 albums, covers. I was prepping for the EMOM, which I played last night. That went really well. It was really good over in Wells, which is about half an hour away from here. We've been prepping for Edinburgh Fringe, and we've picked 40 shows so far that we're going to go and see. Now, we've only got 12 days, so 40 shows. And we aren't anywhere close to finishing that. So I enjoyed a nice Zoom call with Roger Lynn.
Oh, wow.
Roger Lynn does a monthly Zoom call with people who are interested in an instrument. I've never been able to do one before, but what a lovely bloke. It was really nice.
He's a nice guy.
Seems pretty cool.
Yeah, he is. What else have we been doing? We've got another podcast coming out on Monday, which will be about the best thing seen at Glastonbury. So I didn't go to Glastonbury, but I watched loads of it over last weekend.
BBC?
Jason, who does the podcast with me, actually went to Glastonbury. So we have some insight into what it's like to go to Glastonbury on the Sunday. So that'll be out on Monday. We're having to record those in advance and because he's working away all week. So we recorded that on Thursday. That's probably it, really. So it's a pretty full-on week, really.
Awesome.
But all good fun. Oh, and I've got an album coming out in 3 weeks' time, but I probably said that last week.
Yay.
96th Day of the Year will be out on the 24th of July.
Cool.
Nice.
So we've started to do the PR for that, really. Try and
Fantastic.
get some reviews. Yep.
Well, I think
everything.
it's this is a cheer.
Hey.
Awesome. We're going to go across to Brian from Robots of Red. How are you, mate? How's your week been? I've just put your link
Good.
to your YouTube channel on the chat too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's more how's my month? I guess since I've been on your list.
True.
Some not so good things on the not synth side, but yeah, I got laid off from my job of 12 years.
Sorry to hear that.
A couple of weeks ago, so looking for
sorry
something
about
new. It's new opportunity. So if anyone needs a 3D render artist or designer or illustrator, my website is also robotsr.red, where I have all my portfolio stuff on there, as well as link to my shop, which you're putting up there. Show off a new blank I made for my shop. It's this fun 6 HP mandala blank that is double-sided.
Nice.
So you could get a 3-pack of them and put together a full
little
mandala.
montage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep, there we go.
Oh, he's done it. There we go. Beautiful.
Got
Well
that.
done, mate.
Working on a new video for a module that can turn your NES controller into a bunch of gate outputs for each button, which is really great. So that should be
Nice.
out early this next week from Hakai Labs. And then just gearing up for KnobCon, which is in September in Chicago suburbs. I think it's the biggest show in the U.S. for synthesizers. If I'm maybe
Knobcon.
outside of NAMM.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or for more modular scene there too. As
Yeah, it's pretty much all modular for the most part. Some MIDI things. Yeah, if you're in the Chicago area, you want to come out. It's a really really great show. It's all weekend. Even bring instruments. They have a jam room. It's really fun. And we're kind of debuting our collaborative modular company, Mega Modular Co. Where it's 5 of us plus a bunch of different friends and collaborators. Just kind of a big modular collective. It's been good so far. So trying to get the word out for that.
awesome. That's so good, man. Really, really good. Awesome. Okay, and we'll head over to Kent, and I'll just post Kent's channel in the chat as well. Kent, been doing a few pubs lately. How are you? How's your week been?
Yeah, a couple of pubs. Week's been pretty quiet, apart from Pooper Patrol. Everything's sort of like... I'm not really doing any work at the moment. I decided that I had enough of looking on the inside of synthesizers for a while. So I'm looking on the inside of the Mustang mostly this week. And yeah, so just put in the well, we've cut out the new carpet. We still have to fit it. So yeah, and that's coming along lovely. So when apparently I was going to empty out some of the garage, and it was suggested to me that I stream it. And like well, you could, I suppose. Yeah, it's. But I think that there would be people having heart attacks, seeing half, 2600s sort of like hanging on the wall, it's like this, Because it is a graveyard. It's where synths go to die, and but yeah, it's quite, I suppose it's different. I suppose instead of seeing, all these lovely gear laid out, it's all this dead stuff, with bits missing. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
So
it's like that. That plane graveyard, the one in America, the where all planes.
Exactly, yeah, exactly like that. Yeah, I mean, there's things
In
like
Tucson, Arizona.
I'd watch that.
There's things out there like, do you know the is it the Hohner drum man? A mechanical drum machine.
Wow.
Oh, that rings a
Valve
bell.
driven.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
it's about the size of a small fridge.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, there's one of them out there.
Wow.
I think somebody had one of them at Synthfest a couple of years ago.
That wouldn't surprise me. I know there's not many around. This thing,
Or maybe
I mean,
Korg
it said, it doesn't work properly. I plugged it in, it caught fire, and I threw it into the garden. That was it. That was the end of that. all the valves. No, honestly, there was two big valves in it, and they just went like that, and then there was just smoke, and then flames, and everything like that. I go, out you go.
Yeah.
That would have been so
Broke
good
glass
to get on
right
video.
there, do you know what? Yeah, it would have been quite spectacular because I didn't know I could speak so many languages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't
So,
know.
I think it was a
Cantonese?
bug in the machine. It should have been flam, not flame.
It was a typo. Yeah. It was sort of like, let's try flame. Yeah. So there's stuff like that out there, and synthexes and DXs and
Yeah.
ARPs and
Memory
Rolands.
Moogs. Memory Moogs.
Memory Moogs. Yeah, there's memory Moogs out there. And
We've-
stuff like that.
You've done a cross in your garage to my show before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was the first time you ever did it. You actually tested your iPad out to see if it would work out there.
Yeah. It was a bit.
It was a
Shaky,
bit flaky.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because somebody said, well, I can't remember who I was talking to now, but they said, you need to improve your reception out there. And I said, yeah, okay. And I got a booster, and it didn't really help. So what and I went, oh, hang on a minute. I believe somewhere around here I have two 30-meter RJ45 cables and a little interconnector. I'll just connect it up to the hub in the workshop and just run the cable all the way around to the workshop. So we get a gigabyte stream then. I thought, yeah, all right, do that.
Yeah, do that. Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah. But I was going to do it this morning, but it started raining, so it might be tomorrow or Monday.
Do you want to see?
I've got to do it Tuesday.
Do you want to see how good I am at doing live streams? I'll show you. Ready?
Mm-hmm. Go for
Okay,
it.
brace yourself. Here we go. There's your live stream, everybody.
And on that bombshell. No.
Where's the wah, 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 wah sound effect? That'll do.
What the?
I have to browse to find that one.
Yeah. So so I've been quiet and uneventful of late.
Fantastic. What a great "How's Your Week Been" segment. That's probably the best I've ever heard. Seriously, guys, you've done well. Well, I think we should wrap shop. I got to go coach soccer in the morning, and it's a 30-minute drive to the game. Yay! Anyway, guys, get your 303s out and do some acid. Make some acid. I did that on purpose, by the way.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, just don't lick the acid off the front of the 2500, because
That was the Buchla red panel.
Oh, the Buchla, that's right.
Oh,
Well, guys, much appreciated for everybody being on the show. Much appreciated. Hope you guys enjoyed all the segments. Well done to Bert for the Name That Synth. Guys, keep them coming. They are so enjoyable. I really, really enjoy it. Well done to Wags for winning the quiz for the 4,000th time. Good on you, mate.
Yeah.
Keeping it up there. Thanks, Brian, for joining the show from sunny Chicago. Good on you, buddy. Keeping up the side of the US for us. And thanks, Henrik, for filling in for Darren at short notice. Much appreciated. And don't forget, Henrik's got his senior synth stream in about, 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever it is. About that. Anyway. Three-ish hours. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, and Kent, thanks for joining us, mate. Showing us that wonderful CS80 as you always do. It's a fantastic thing, isn't it? Isn't it just a thing of beauty?
going in September.
Oh, I'm sad.
But it's been replaced by another one. So I'm fine. The guy owns.
Fair enough. All right, guys. We're going to end the show. Why not? Yay! Bye, everyone. Press
Bye,
record.
everybody.
Yes.
Bye.
Take care.